Hey, Lexie, why was 10 afraid?
I don't know.
Because it's in the middle of 9/11.
Oh, gosh.
We're talking about 2001 today. Let's
Yay!
get the conversation started. Hello and welcome to LexiCon. It is Maddie.
Lexie.
Dylan.
And the topic today is everything 2001. Well, probably not even close to everything, but whatever we feel like talking about. Mostly pop culture and a few events here and there. And we're doing this because the day this podcast drops is Lexie's birthday.
Yay!
And Lexie is from 2001.
Absolutely am. And the day we're recording this is the cat's birthday. The cat is not from 2001.
The cat is also not turning 25.
No, she is not. She's turning 7.
That's not even a factor of 25.
No, it's not.
We can't make
7.
You sure she's not 6?
Ha.
I mean, she's probably 6 or 7.
Something like that. The other cat's like 11.
You pointed at Dylan when you said that.
That's a cat on the other side of...
Well, this is your show, Alex. You wanted to do this.
Head on pillow and taking a nap.
You wanted to take this 2001 Lexie Odyssey.
I do. Wait, no, we're not referencing that. No, thank you. That's the most boring movie ever.
That's literally going to be the title of this episode.
Damn it. I told you it was going to be related to the episode.
It makes too much. Look, I've never even seen the movie, but it just makes too much sense.
I've seen a portion of the movie. I fell asleep during it.
The ferret's trying to get into your bedroom.
Alrighty.
I think the door is closed, so he's scratching in the background.
Yeah. Oh, Johnny got it. Thanks, Johnny.
My buddy! Come in for the party!
All right, Lexie.
Birthday party.
All right, Lexie. It's the second time you've interrupted my my comments at the beginning of the show.
Okay, normal. Welcome to the show of interruptions.
So, where you want to go?
I thought maybe we'd start with one of your links.
I don't have any link.
One of your bookmarks, your tabs. It's out. Yes.
To the past.
Tell me all about Zelda from 2001, please, Father.
What the Zelda's in 2001?
I don't know.
I do have a list of video games released in 2000.
It sounds like a perfect place to start.
Look,
then.
if I was playing Zelda in 2001, I was playing the original or Link to the Past.
Okay.
So I don't even know because 2000. What's 2001? That's GameCube, right? For Nintendo.
Something like that. Let's see.
No, GameCube came out in 2001. We talked about it earlier this
Oracle
year.
of Season, Oracle of Ages were in 2001, apparently.
Okay, cool. I think Maddie was bringing up some video games.
Those are Game Boy games, aren't they?
Game Boy Color, specifically.
Yeah, but for all intents and purposes, same thing.
Yeah, pretty much. Okay, so what video games we got? What console?
We've talked about this a bit because we did the episode where we looked back at video game franchises and systems that were celebrating significant anniversaries. That's how I remembered that the GameCube was out in 2001. I didn't have a GameCube. I got my PlayStation 2 in 2001. That's what I got for Christmas.
I don't think I got any game systems in 2001.
I'm absolutely sure you did not.
Damn it! You didn't give me a baby gaming system for my first Christmas?
No, I got you a lion that said, "I am a lion, the king of the jungle."
I think I don't have it anymore, but we had it recently.
And I got you some furniture like not necessarily jungle or zoo themed furniture. They were like zebra,
I remember that.
Zebra chairs and had
sounds like elephants and stuff too.
Animals on that was your first Christmas.
I love that furniture.
That was
I used to play
that
at
was
it
the
all
very
the time.
end of 2001 though. We're jumping to the end.
Grampy and I would play card games on that table.
Like I said, I was not really even checking for new video games in 2000. I did.
You were too busy.
I did get my PlayStation 2. But honestly, I probably played more PlayStation games on PlayStation 2 than I played PlayStation 2 games because PlayStation 2 was backwards compatible, which was awesome. I think any video game system that can pull that off should.
Honestly, especially nowadays, it really should, and if you don't,
it's also weird, though, because the era I came up in, that wasn't really the case. Like, when we went from Nintendo to Super Nintendo, you couldn't play Nintendo games on the Super Nintendo, and it didn't feel weird not to.
Yeah.
But then PlayStation 2 comes out, and you can play PlayStation games on it, and after that, it's like, yeah, why don't they always do this?
Yeah, afterwards, you're like, okay, it can be done, so it should be done.
So I really
like I said, nowadays, if a console's not doing that, it's weird.
I think all the PlayStations were backwards compatible to a degree, except the original, of course.
I thought one of them, other than the first one, wasn't. At least
the PlayStation 3 the original version of it, I think, was backwards compatible, and then the later iterations of it weren't. If I understand correctly, I never had a PlayStation 3. That's the only PlayStation that we didn't have. I mean, Marcus had one.
Yeah.
That's the only one that we didn't have, though.
I would say, do we need to go find an old version of it? But, we have a 5 and a 4,
yeah, good luck. That's going to be expensive.
I'm sure it will.
The only thing is, I wish, they were backwards compatible for every generation. I wish I could play my original PlayStation games on the PlayStation 5. That would be really cool.
That would be perfect.
So they're all only backwards compatible one generation. I don't know about PlayStation 3. Maybe it did both. Maybe
I think PlayStation 3 was backwards compatible originally, but later versions weren't.
Yeah, we said that. I
literally just said that.
We're talking about how far back was it compatible?
What happened with you? I just said that.
Well, I think it's backwards compatible all the way.
Okay, that's what we were wondering.
What do you mean?
All the way back to the 1. The first.
Yeah, that's fine. But I already said that the first version of it was backwards compatible. And the later iterations weren't.
Yeah, I think it was backwards compatible all the way.
Yeah, that's what we were wondering, was how far back was it compatible, or was it only compatible with the 2?
But as far as new games, I mean, there's stuff like Super Mario World, Super Mario Advance 2, but that's just a Game Boy port.
Yeah.
I mean, there's lots of games I recognize on here.
Probably not a whole lot I'm going to recognize.
The original Halo, apparently, is from 2001.
Nice.
Grand Theft Auto 3, Metal Gear Solid 2, Gran Turismo 3, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3.
I love Tony Hawk's
Devil May Cry
Pro Skater
is 2001.
I've never played any of these games.
Of course, new iterations of Madden and NBA 2K. Mario Kart Super Circuit for the Game Boy Advance.
I played that game.
There's the Oracle. Final Fantasy X is 2001.
Nice.
Smash Bros. Melee.
Mm-hmm.
Conker's Bad Fur Day.
Mm-hmm.
The aforementioned Oracle of Seasons.
Mm-hmm.
Castlevania Circle of the Moon. You're a Castlevania fan, Gabby. What do you think of that one?
Circle of the Moon. Which one's that one?
It was for Game Boy Advance.
I don't think
I didn't play that one. I think that's the one I didn't play because it's not canon.
Star Wars Rogue Squadron 2, Rogue Leader.
Nice.
Lots of sequels this year. Max Payne for Windows.
Okay.
Final Fantasy Chronicles. Oh, that was I believe that's the disc that has the original Final Fantasy and Final Fantasy 2 on it, which was the first time Final Fantasy 2 was released in the U.S. That's one of those games.
Nice.
That was the era where we were getting a lot. Oh no, wait, which one is Chronicles? There's 3 of them. No, Final Fantasy Origins is the first 2 Final Fantasies. Then there's Final Fantasy Chronicles and Final Fantasy Anthology, and one of them is, I believe, Final Fantasy 6 and Chrono Trigger. And the other one is Final Fantasy 4 and 5. And, of course, this is the first time we ever got 5 in the U.S., the first time we ever got 2 in the U.S. And it was just nice to have a next-generation port of games like Chrono Trigger and Final Fantasy 6 and Final Fantasy 4. But those are the kinds of games that I was playing a lot at the time.
Definitely not games I played a lot of
not necessarily new games, even though they were currently released. But just
which one is that one, the 2001 one?
It's Chrono Trigger and Final Fantasy.
Okay, yeah.
Oh, it's Final Fantasy 4 and Chrono Trigger, so I guess it's 5 and 6 together.
Yeah,
interesting.
Yeah, I still have that. It's right up there on the shelf.
Nice.
I think that's the only copy of Chrono Trigger I have right now, since Dylan lost his DS version of it.
You lost your DS version?
Probably.
It's probably, yeah. I did that.
I know. I sold my Super Nintendo copy, my original one that I got for Christmas in '95. I feel bad, but I needed the money at the time, and it was,
I'm sure that's understandable.
Is an amazing game.
I wasn't playing it a lot.
We do things we've got to do.
Oh my gosh, y'all! Super Monkey Ball released.
Holy shit!
Oh yeah, Super
by
Monkey
Sega
Ball.
Is GC and GameCube?
Maybe.
Probably.
I guess so, because Pikmin was released in 2001 on it's abbreviated as GCN.
Okay, I say Dylan loves Super Monkey Ball.
That's just. I don't think that's a comprehensive list. That's just the critically acclaimed titles.
Still awesome.
I'm on Wikipedia because it was just the simplest thing. Best-selling games of 2001, Pokemon Gold, Silver, Crystal.
I don't think some of my favorite games would have come out yet.
Lots of games we've mentioned already. Oh, The Sims.
Oh! Wait, what Sims?
The Sims was the 10th best-selling game on Windows.
Okay, that had to have just been best-selling for that year. Because The Sims is from 2000.
This was the list of the best-selling games of 2001, and
that
The
makes
Sims
sense.
was amongst them.
That very much makes sense. Came out in 2000.
Well, you just
very big game.
You just made me close my tabs.
Okay, well, would you like to move on to another category?
I have nothing else to say about this. I'm not sure I covered much, but...
Well, we have much to talk about. A lot to get through.
We'll close this tab.
Potentially.
It's
Got a lot of links.
We can move on.
Okay, well, I've just learned that iTunes was announced, introduced, etc. in 2001.
Okay.
I thought iTunes was older.
I wouldn't know.
I don't know either, but we can talk about some 2001 music.
I mean, Napster would have been around that time.
Napster,
the iPhone
Napster
wouldn't even be until like 2005 or 2006. Was it 7?
Yep.
So.
I don't know when iPods were, though.
Before the iPhone, I think.
I would hope so. I mean, I know iTunes was probably on computer first, but thinking that iTunes was 2001, I would hope iPods came soon after, if they weren't already a thing. Okay, so music. You have some music lists, don't you, Father?
I do, and again, I could... Interestingly enough, Wikipedia occasionally has... They're really good about film, and they do have some lists of all the albums released in a certain year, but it's spotty on the album. So I do have a list of Billboard 200 number one albums, which of course would also include albums released the prior year potentially.
Okay.
And I have a list of all the top singles of the year, and I have a list of the 50 best albums of the year, which is obviously subjective, but would give us something to talk about.
Okay. The lists I bought 2001 releases from albumoftheyear.org, and what is it? Billboard Hot 100 singles of 2001, and the Billboard charts from the week of April 21st, 2001, because that would have included the 19th.
Off the top of my head, I don't remember any specific albums or songs, just that was a 2001 song. Obviously, I remember things from the era. I was still mainly listening to hip-hop, but I didn't really listen to hip-hop radio. I was reading, like, hip-hop magazines like The Source to find out when the new release would come out, and then I'd go get the albums. I was listening to the radio a little more in this period than I had in prior periods, so I was getting into especially kind of modern alternative rock groups like Incubus and whatever you feel about them, like Nickelback.
Okay.
I remember Nelly Furtado,
yes.
Alicia Keys, who's obviously not alternative rock, but I'm just thinking of some of this artists I can remember from the era, whether it was this specific year or not. So I was listening to more mainstream songs, but I was still, more into my own thing and going for what I could. So
nice. Okay, apparently I can't share that chart.
When I see the actual list, I'll see if, I remember that album or whatever. But as far as actually specifically remembering something that was released that year, like I said, I guess I was just a little too busy with other stuff.
I probably kept you
to remember
busy
that as well as I would years before or after it.
You probably had a couple chill sort of months when the year started, but I'm sure I kept you busy after that. But anyway, apparently I can't share that one specific...
I do know that I had probably the most money saved in my bank account and my savings right before April 19th, and after that just all went away.
Makes sense. Anyway, so I can't actually share that specific chart. They want me to subscribe. Annoying. I'm not doing that. But I still have the year-end Hot 100 singles.
I have something like that. I have the Billboard year-end Hot 100 singles of 2001.
We have the exact same list.
Right here on Wikipedia, yeah.
Yep.
I don't know if you want to look at that or... this is this is the albums, and of course, like I say, some of those would come from 2000.
Okay.
Like the Beatles... I'm pretty sure it's just a compilation album.
Yeah.
I don't think it included any sort of new material.
I randomly brought 2 dead Beatles and the other 2 back together.
It's, I think it's like all their number one, greatest hits album.
Makes sense. Very nice, though.
It's a good collection if you don't have the songs or if you just want them all in one place.
Needed a Beatles collection the year I was born.
We got a Jennifer Lopez album.
Makes sense.
Shaggy's album, Hot Shot, with, of course, It Wasn't Me and Angel.
Nice. I know one of those.
We had that album because Grampy liked those songs.
Nice.
A Dave Matthews Band, Shaggy's back on the charts. A posthumous Tupac release. Now That's What I Call Music, Volume 6.
Oh,
Destiny's Child, Survivor. That's a good album. I had that album. That was a really good album.
I think I know one song off of it.
Well, Survivor, of course.
Yep.
Crime...
the songs
let me look at the name of it before I butcher it.
We've already established that I was only born in the year this was released.
Don't you know there's nobody left in this world? Let me find the actual title before I... Well, does it not have a list of... Here we go. Oh, yeah, of course. Independent Woman's on there. Bootylicious is on there. Survivor.
I know the name of Bootylicious, but I'm not sure I know the song, honestly.
Dangerously in Love.
I might know that one.
Emotion, yeah. It's a Bee Gees song, but
okay.
They did a cover of it. That's a really good song. I had that album.
Nice.
I thought it was really good.
I bet you don't still have it.
Gonna
find out.
The only reason I wouldn't have it is if I sold it, because I always treated CDs as like commodities. When money was tight, I'd sell them off.
Yeah.
And when I had more money, I'd buy more.
Yeah.
Let's see. It would be before Bob. Before Dida, it would be after Def Squad. It looks like we do not still have it.
A Blink-182 album that I really like came out that year.
I apologize. Yeah, I was never checking for Blink-182.
I'm sorry.
Take Off Your Pants and Jacket.
Yep.
I just got to that.
I've
definitely heard some of their songs, but I never specifically tried to listen to. Hey, now That's What I Call Music, Volume 7. We got 2 of them so far.
Wait, we got 6, 7?
Yeah, 6, 7.
6, 7.
I hate myself.
Aaliyah's self-titled album.
I was about to mention that one.
We spoke about them on the last episode. System of a Down, Toxicity.
Yes.
I've sold it, but I had that album too.
Down.
Yeah, Chop Suey.
I think Janet and Michael Jackson released albums that year. And Britney Spears.
Jay-Z's Blueprint. That's a good Jay-Z album. That's the one that came out on... No, I thought that came out on 9/11.
Maybe.
Oh yeah, this is the Billboard chart. It did. This
yeah,
released it. Yeah, that's one of the albums because
that's oof. Just drops an album and then.
Well, it's not even that because 9/11 was whatever day. I was thinking it was a Tuesday, and Tuesday used to be music release day in the United States. That was every Tuesday was when the albums came out. So
I just have to say that has to suck for anybody who just already had that set up. Though
it was just circumstance.
I don't think the world was paying attention to a new album that day. At least not America.
I think that one did all right though.
Yeah, probably.
I don't think that album. We got another DMX Great Depression.
Nice.
Probably, I guess his third album.
Okay, we've got Sum 41 and Jimmy Eat World.
That was good. All of DMX albums
Radiohead.
were good though.
Yeah.
And then one of the Creed albums, was that the one with My Sacrifice on it?
Oh, was it? Did we get that good of an album the year I was born?
I didn't say the album was that good. It's a good song.
We got a good song at least.
I like their...
The album's good because it's got that song.
Yeah,
nice.
It's a good song.
Cicada had a new album.
It's not like you said Cicada had a new album.
Yup, cicadas, guys. They're making music. I brought musical cicadas with me.
Or is it the COVID variant making the music?
I'm gonna go insects because I like them more.
I would hope you don't like the COVID variant at all.
Exactly. We had 2 Gorillaz albums and a Bob Dylan.
Yeah, Love and Theft.
Yep. What's on that one?
I know Gorillaz tangentially. I've heard the big hit, but I never actually got around to getting one of the albums.
Kind of same.
I have a lot of albums. You can see that. I can't get them all.
We need a second shelf that size.
So... I don't know how well I'm picking up. You might want to talk for just a minute.
Okay, well, I also found Alicia Keys and Missy Elliott.
Yeah, Alicia Keys' songs in the key of A or whatever.
Something like that.
Yeah, that was a good album. And
songs in A minor.
Yeah, and Nelly Furtado's debut album that had I really like those two. That song and Fallen by Alicia Keys. I don't know if I'm picking up.
Okay, that's fine.
I need to pull albums off the shelf, but yeah. Like a Bird and Fallen were both on the radio around the same time.
Nice.
I really liked both of those songs.
We also got Tenacious D.
Yeah.
And Wu-Tang.
Which Wu-Tang album was 2001?
Iron Flag.
Oh, yeah. The first 2 group albums were the best. All the subsequent releases were fine.
More than one Daft Punk, I think.
I definitely got it. Probably got it for Christmas, honestly.
Gabby, do you remember what movie this is?
Isn't that Spirited Away?
It might be. The soundtrack for it is on the list. Meaning that movie might have been. We haven't got into movies yet. We're not there yet.
I've never seen Spirited Away.
Me neither.
I have seen Princess Mononoke, though.
I've seen My Neighbor Totoro. Well, your Ghibli film have you seen? Ghibli, whatever it's called. You haven't watched any of them?
You haven't even seen Princess Mononoke?
What do you do in your free time?
I thought we watched it together after I realized that was the movie
I
was thinking about.
We've never watched it together.
Last time I knew, HBO had
I haven't seen any of them.
Just in case anybody doesn't realize, for years I remembered watching this movie where there was this great spirit of the forest that was coming to save the day, and the bad guy just cut his fucking head off. And I was like, that's kind of fucked up, but I never remember what movie it was. And then one day I saw it, that's from Prince Mononoke. And we had talked about whether I'd seen any Studio Ghibli films, and I was like, I have seen that!
I don't think that's the exact scene, but it's about that.
It's pretty similar to that.
Someone's head gets cut off and the spirit dies.
Yeah, the Guardian's spirit gets cut off.
Something like that.
His spirit gets cut off, yeah. He chopped his dick right off.
Pink had an album in 2001.
I looked up at some point.
Yeah, her first album is Understood.
Yup. You had that album. I don't know if you still do.
Yeah, I remember because the jewel case for it got messed up, and I just had it in this really generic jewel case, so it might still be up there.
When
I'm not going to go pull everything off the shelf because I'm getting away from the microphone.
No, that's fine. I just know that when I started getting into that sort of music, you showed up with Avril Lavigne and Pink CDs, and I was like, holy fuck, my dad's got Avril Lavigne and Pink CDs. Also, the first time I ever cussed was to a Pink song around that era.
Avril Lavigne's first album with Complicated Stuff on it would have been around this time.
I don't remember what year it was for sure.
Apparently, it probably wasn't this year because I'm not seeing it listed anymore.
Say it might be, or maybe it was 2002 or something.
But it would be around, it could even be 2003. Just this, those years.
No doubt.
Pop culture-wise, all those years are kind of blend together.
And this is why they're all part of Y2K. Despite not actually being Y2K.
I see Miss Jackson was one of the hot singles, so I wonder if that Outkast album was...
Probably.
2001 too. I
have not gotten through this entire list.
Like I said, I couldn't find a comprehensive list.
The list I've got seems... Oh, Rob Zombie had one. Seems to have a lot.
That feels like the right time.
I'm gonna go see Rob Zombie later this year. Along with a bunch of other artists. I'm really excited because The Who is part of the lineup. That's who I really want to go see.
Okay.
Usher had an album. Ghostface Killer.
Which Ghostface album?
Bulletproof Wallet.
Oh, yeah, Bulletproof.
An LP.
I like that better than Supreme Clientele. It's not as good as Iron Man.
Okay.
But Bulletproof Walls is a good album.
Nice.
Never Be the Same Again was the lead single off it about his wife cheating on him.
Okay.
It's a good song.
Nice. I'm gonna trust your word on that. Mobb Deep. Paul McCartney.
Yeah, the Mobb Deep album wasn't great. Their 3 previous albums were much better. I had that one, but it was a bit of a fall off.
Ozzy. There's a long list here, guys. And it doesn't seem to want to stop.
And of course, I mean...
Busta Rhymes.
When it comes to what music I was listening to, we're just talking about new releases. I was still listening to all the same music I always listen to.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to put on Jimmy Buffett or Bob Dylan.
I would say that's a fun fact about music, is just because it's the new year, you don't stop listening to it. That would be sad if you did.
It was still, at that time, current hip-hop, but 80s and 90s hip-hop. And we're just at the tail end of that. And, of course, classic rock. That's always going to be my go-tos, as it was then.
Could you imagine if you could only listen to music the year it was released?
Yeah, that'd be messed up.
That'd be a really sad.
I was going to say at one point that might have been the case, but people would still play it. So.
Yeah, like...
When it was still just 100
so years ago.
But even then, people, if you remember the song, people are going to continue to play it. That's
how
it was passed down
written down, etc. So. Okay, Aerosmith and Judas Priest.
Get Your Freak On, Missy Elliott. That's a big song. I wasn't a particular fan of it, but...
Okay. I haven't listened to much Missy Elliott. Like, I've seen her perform on things, but that's it.
I was never a big Missy fan. I didn't really get it.
Understand. Makes sense as to why I wouldn't be too familiar. The Cranberries... Still going. This thing is still going, guys. There was so much music in 2001.
Well, yeah.
Mary J. Blige. To be fair, I'm sure there's a lot of music most years. A year without a bunch of music is probably a really sad year.
At this point, you're just reading people's names. You're not even mentioning the specific... Like,
yeah,
Mary J. Blige was making music since, 88, so...
Well, I know, some of these you're gonna know, so...
Beautiful Day, we learned recently, was U2's biggest single of all time.
Nice.
Remember when we did the GeoGuessr quiz?
Yes.
They did a good video to that in WWE, too, when Triple H was coming back from his knee injury.
I just thought about
not his knee injury,
list I did not find.
His quad that he would tear in 2001.
NSYNC had an album. Celebrity.
Not a surprise. Lots of people had albums, obviously.
Obviously! Somebody named Butthole Surfers had an album.
Pardon?
Yeah, you're not familiar with the Butthole Surfers?
I question that name, though.
That's a crazy thing to say. You aren't familiar with the Butthole Surfers?
They're a fairly well-known band.
That's a crazy sentence.
They're referenced in Stranger Things.
Okay, I haven't watched all of Stranger Things.
I'm familiar with the Butthole.
Hero
Run DMC.
Enrique Iglesias, that was a good song.
Nice. Run DMC released Crown Royal, well, whatever. Cher released Living Proof. Lots of the artists that I am familiar with, and fairly big artists too. More Radiohead, a compilation album. There's people releasing more than one album in 2001. I don't think any artist that I follow has released more than an album in 1 year.
Oh yeah,
more than one album.
No More Drama was the Mary J. Blige album. That was a big comeback album.
But I don't think any artist I follow has released more than one album in a year, except for Taylor Swift in 2020.
Haven't mentioned this yet. Usher's album, 8701.
Sorry, Usher.
That's a great album.
I don't know what's on. I know.
To an Usher album, it's that's got Confessions on it.
Nice.
And You Got It Bad.
Oh, I know that song.
Not
my very first phone. The first phone I had that had service on it. It had belonged to grandma, cousin, somebody, and so all the music was still on it, and there were multiple Usher songs on it.
No, 8701 is a fucking outstanding album.
Nice.
You Got It Bad is fucking everything.
Yeah.
I love that song.
Okay.
That was one of my favorites.
That is one I know, so that's fair. We don't talk about Shrek.
What have you got against Shrek?
I don't know.
I think it's overrated, but it's
what I have against Shrek is a video that somebody made on YouTube several years ago. It's not even something Shrek did. And a guy I hung out with twice and then ghosted me had a Shrek plushie in his closet.
And then
what's a Shrek plushie in their closet?
That guy who was oh gosh, how much older? 6 years older than me at the time?
What the fuck?
Everybody's not offended by that, Dylan. Some people don't have a problem with it.
He was 23, I think. 22, 23.
People like me and Alex always have friends that are either older or younger than us.
See, Gabby's confused because they're the older friend in their friend group, and all of their friends are only younger, within the same year.
No. One of them is a year and a half younger.
But I've always had friends.
Elton John, people.
Younger, the same age, older, and there's nothing weird about that.
I'm still mad that I had...
What album was it Peachtree
Songs from something? I don't know the full title, and it's cut off.
Songs from, it's West something. Songs from the West Coast. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't have a lot of the later Elton albums. I heard they're all pretty good, but I never got around to them.
I'm just still mad that, that he was doing his farewell tour or whatever and had to stop Nurse, and it was on my birthday, and I really wanted to go see it.
We got to watch the concert on Disney+.
True, we did.
We had fun doing that.
We absolutely did. Stevie Nicks. Very nice. Don't have the Stevie Nicks Barbie. I'd like to, though.
Yeah, there's like a lot of albums from this year that I remember hearing a lot about, but I never got around to actually listening to. Stuff like...
we gotta put Rapper the Rapper album, guys.
Even Tenacious D. I had that CD, and I never fucking listened to it, and then I sold it.
Yeah, technically it's a soundtrack.
And to Tenacious D and the Pick of Destiny, which I've never gotten... What? What is?
This Rapper the Rapper?
Oh, I thought you were talking about the Tenacious D album.
No, I was talking about Rapper the Rapper!
I'm not even sure if the Tenacious D album is actually the soundtrack to the movie, or if those are two separate albums. But other stuff like Drive-By Truckers, Southern Rock Opera.
Yeah.
I've heard a lot of good things about that album, but never got around to it. And what else? I think there was the Wilco album, Yankee Foxtrot Hotel.
Okay.
Incubus had an album, but I liked the album before that, because the album before that had Drive on it. That was my favorite Incubus song. Cowboy
Bebop, anyone?
That was an anime, isn't it?
I guess there's a soundtrack available from 2001. And Green Day did something in 2001. Yeah, like I said,
2001 was the year I was listening to more stuff that you would hear on the radio. But
a Christmas album by Destiny's
Child. Listening to my own
own
things, and again, there's just so much music already. You can only get around to so much of it. So there's a lot I missed, but there's a lot I partook in, too.
So much on this list.
And like I say,
Dave Matthews
some really
Band.
Great stuff, like we mentioned.
A compilation album by Madonna. The SpongeBob SquarePants soundtrack.
Okay, but are we just going to list everything?
No, I think we're going to move on, because oh my gosh, this list is long. That was so... I mean, to be fair, this list, from what I can tell, also does more than just America and all kinds of things. Soundtracks, LPs, compilations, etc. So, there's a lot. Pennywise. Of course. Pennywise.
Alright, 2001, baby. Where you want to go?
Where do I want to go? A lot of places that I can't afford. No, I was thinking, while we were thinking about that and soundtracks, etc., we got movies, TV shows.
Yeah, I've looked over the list of movies a little bit because I was getting ready for the year-end podcast, and we try to hit movies that are celebrating, again, significant anniversaries.
Of course.
20th, 25th, 30th, 35th, all the fives, basically.
Yeah.
So I've seen a little bit of it, but I, got the list up, too.
Awesome. You pulled that list up because I'm finding TV shows.
I was not doing theaters at this time. I had not done...
You were too busy.
Actually, that's not entirely true. I did go see a movie in theaters that year,
So were you going to go with a newborn baby at home?
But I did.
Of course you did.
But it was not a time when I was hitting theaters regularly. It would be, once you got older that we started going back to theaters fairly regularly.
Makes sense.
So I see a lot of stuff once it came out. But I was cognizant of what was being released. I was still, a pop culture junkie, and I was, I'd read entertainment magazines and keep up with what was coming out and be looking forward to it. The highest grossing films in the U.S., 2001, I have the list here. The first Harry Potter film. Yep. Which didn't mean shit to me at the time. No. And in fact, when I first watched it, I was like, that was fine. It was kind of slight. That's
kind of how I felt like it was okay, kind of mid when I watched the first season of Bridgerton. I stayed up. I was going to bed at midnight. I stayed up till 8 a.m. to watch that season. Even though every single episode I thought was mid, I'm fucking obsessed now.
The first of the Lord of the Rings live action movies, Fellowship of the Ring, which again I wouldn't see until it came out on DVD, and I got the extended edition. And when I first saw the movies, I thought they were fantastic.
Yes. And then you read the books.
I had never read the books. I was familiar with Lord of the Rings mainly through the animated movies from my childhood. Mm-hmm. And so I thought the movies were great. And I still think they're great as far as the scope of them sort of capturing the world and the presentation, but I do think they do a major disservice to some of the characters in them. Yeah. So I am disappointed in them to a degree now that I've read the books, but at the time I thought they were fantastic. That was out. The aforementioned Shrek, which again I thought was totally fine, but was not. It was underwhelming compared to all the hype. Mm-hmm. I actually liked Hoodwinked better. I thought Hoodwinked did the subversive fairy tale genre better than Shrek.
Going back in time, I would have probably chosen Shrek over Hoodwinked. Nowadays, I don't know that I'm choosing either.
Monster Hoodwinked is fantastic.
Oh yeah, no, they're totally fine. I don't know, not the vibe I typically watch nowadays.
I know the animation is not great. It was a low budget.
It's fine.
Film, it's a really good. It
was movie. What? Yeah, was that 2001 too, or was it just this time?
I think that was more like 2000. Ooh, I'm not sure now that you mentioned it. It was somewhere within 5 years of Shrek. Let me put it in that but I can't
within 5 years of Shrek, guys.
So it's the same era, but we also got Monsters, Inc., of course. That was the other big animated film that year.
Now, I would choose that movie.
I actually like the sequel better. My Monsters, Inc. is good. I mean...
I like them both. That's actually a good sequel.
It's a little harder for me to watch now that I know what a dick Billy Crystal is, but...
Yeah. But Mike Wazowski and Boo.
Rush Hour 2. I never saw any of the Rush Hour movies. The Mummy Returns. I never saw any of those.
I've heard that with Boo, because obviously as a little kid doing her voice, they couldn't get her to sit still in a studio and record, so they just followed her around.
Interesting. Pearl Harbor. Ocean's 11, probably the best movie from 2001.
Have you seen that one? I have, haven't I?
You should have. If you
it's one that you showed me.
If you haven't, you're going to see it later because we'll be doing it.
So I remember you showing me a heist
this year on the podcast.
Somebody made this big plan, and it may or may not have cut between things.
Jurassic Park 3 and the 2001 version of Planet of the Apes, both of which I've never bothered to see.
I haven't either. I've only seen the most recent Planet of the Apes. I wanted to go back through and watch them before going to see that one, but I didn't get around to it.
I have zero interest in Planet of the Apes movies. I don't have very much interest in Jurassic World or Park movies either.
I want to see the newest one with Jonathan Bailey in it.
We watched the first of the Chris Pratt Jurassic movies. I think it's Jurassic World.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And the end of it was fantastic when you had the dinosaur fight.
Mm-hmm.
Everything leading up to it was absolute shit.
I also have Jurassic Park the book. I've read some of it.
The Lego game is pretty good.
Fair. I don't think I've played it.
I'm just looking at Down to Earth. That was a Chris Rock movie. It was a remake of Heaven Can Wait, I think. I watched that a lot on HBO during this period.
Yeah.
Of course, that's when I was... And this was right around the time that On Demand was being introduced, and like our cable system had like HBO On Demand. Not necessarily in 2001, but within the next couple of years.
Interesting.
Down to Earth was one I'd go back and rewatch a lot. That and the Mel Gibson movie, What Women Want.
Okay.
Think what you want about it. I'm just saying at the time, I watched those movies a lot. Just because
they
were sort of comfort movies to me at the time, you know?
Yeah, I remember as a kid, I don't know why, but to me, like, On Demand and getting to record stuff and whatnot, that seemed like some really cool, new, expensive thing that Grammy had.
Yeah, it was. Memento, Christopher Nolan's big breakthrough film about the guy with short-term memory loss trying to piece together the murder of his wife.
Fun fact, I don't see as many movies as I probably should.
I did not see that until years later when your mother was taking a film class, and that was one of the movies she had to watch for it.
A film class?
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. This is not 2001, but I wanted to watch Cleopatra the other
Spy
day,
Kids.
and I couldn't find it anywhere.
Spy
Kids! Oh my gosh. One of those kids grew up
Never
to marry
seen
Meghan
any
Trainor.
of the Spy Kids movies either.
Me neither. I've seen more of the guy on TikTok then.
I've seen parts.
You probably have, because it was probably just playing on TV one day.
Like, the one where they had the video game.
Okay, that doesn't tell me shit. I haven't seen them.
Is that like 3 or something?
Maybe.
Bridget Jones's Diary, one of the movies that I ordered on pay-per-view back in the day and fell asleep during.
Never seen it, but I have heard of it.
Ooh, the third Crocodile Dundee movie, Crocodile Dundee.
We haven't seen that one, have we?
I have.
I haven't seen it. You showed
it's
me at least the first one.
Yeah, in fact, it released April 20th. I considered doing it for this episode, but she didn't want to. So.
Sorry, I found history more interesting.
It's a good movie. It may be not as...
It's probably good.
It's maybe not as charming as the first two, but it's still totally good.
It's very, very rare for a sequel.
It's not bad at all.
Especially to surpass the original.
It's also a lot,
but even just to live up
later,
to it.
too. If you figure the original Crocodile Dundee was 86.
Yeah.
Crocodile Dundee 2 was probably like 88, so we're over 10 years later.
Oh, yeah. That reminds me, I started watching The Testaments the other day. The first 3 episodes came out on Hulu, and I cannot watch The Handmaid's Tale. I made it through maybe 3 episodes. Couldn't stomach that. But I found out that the book, The Testaments, just came out in 2018.
Of course, we mentioned Shrek already.
Nice. Yes, we did.
I saw the HBO movie 61 about the home run race between Mickey Mantle and Roger Maris back in 61. Nice. HBO made some great movies in the 80s and 90s. And like I say, maybe not by 2001, but in the 90s, HBO, every Saturday they would premiere a new movie. Most of them were theatrical movies, but like every 4th one or so would be an HBO original movie. They had some great... Gia is still one of my all-time favorite movies. Can I finish a thought before you jump in? And The Band Played On, one of the movies I always cry watching. And the band Played On is about the emergence of the AIDS epidemic.
Oh, nice.
It's one of the movies I always cry during. Hell, so is Gia for that matter. So 2 HBO movies make the list of movies I always cry during. But there was other stuff like The Pentagon, The Late Shift, based on one of my favorite books. HBO makes some fantastic movies back. They probably still do, for all I know. Netflix and Amazon Prime make movies. I'm sure HBO probably
multiple
still
things.
does.
One, I can't currently remember the name of it, but there was a series. It was during 2020, it may have been 21, 22, etc. It was sometime within that time frame. But that it was about like a group of friends, I think in London or whatever, during AIDS and whatnot. That was a sad show. Elton John covered a song or something for it. Multiple other things. I was going to say, I wonder what the first channel broadcasting, etc. was to do original things.
It was always cable.
Cable, broadcast, whatever it was. First one to do the original stuff. Like original movies, specifically. Shows kind of too, maybe.
Well, I don't know how linked they were to specific networks, but television movies have been around since the 60s, at least. Fair. If not the 60s, the 70s, but you think stuff like Brian's Song. It was a miniseries, but like Roots.
Okay.
There's lots of great television movies and miniseries.
I'm thinking like Netflix original, but what's the first?
And even though they would premiere on a network, the network, I don't know, they might not have produced it, but they would acquire the rights to it or whatever. So it wasn't necessarily the network going out and making them, but television stuff like that's been around for pretty much as long as television.
Still wonder what the first was, but nice. I had something else to say and I forgot.
Another movie series that means nothing to us, but is important in the pop culture zeitgeist is Fast and the Furious 2001.
I'd maybe watch those movies.
I assume it's the original one. It's Vin Diesel and Paul Walker.
Honestly, I kind of want to watch those
movies.
It's
it's The Fast and the Furious. I assume that's the first one.
Probably. I don't know either.
Because I think they did that, then they did the Tokyo Drift, then they went back to the main cast.
They've done a lot.
I've never seen them. I've heard they're good.
Yeah.
I can't see every movie, man.
Isn't there like 7 of those now?
At least.
Exactly.
Here's an ironic movie, the one that I've considered doing for the podcast, AI, Artificial Intelligence, the Steven Spielberg movie with Ewan McGregor and Haley Joel Osment playing replicants.
Interesting. That reminds me, I have...
It seems very relevant nowadays. And one that I've never gotten around to going back and watching. I never saw it.
Should probably do that at some point.
It was on the list, but...
This reminds me, I have Adobe Illustrator on the iPad. Obviously, that abbreviates to AI. And, there's artists who use Adobe Illustrator, so they'll do hashtag AI, and it confuses me for a second.
Gabby, guess what movie came out in July 2001?
What?
Legally Blonde.
It did?
Yep.
Damn, I just watched that
But also Final Fantasy The Spirits Within.
Forget Final Fantasy, you said Legal Blonde!
Yep.
Legally Blonde.
The awful Final Fantasy movie came out in 2001.
Oh, the greatest Final Fantasy movie?
No, it's not even the only one, because there's some shorter ones, like Advent Children and whatnot.
Damn.
Yeah, that was it.
But to finish my thought, the little one
That's actually not true. You have. I rented it, and we watched it, and I was like, finally, I know that Cloud and them didn't die.
Well, I'm a liar.
The meteor didn't kill them all.
I don't remember seeing it.
It only took, 5 years for me to figure out the ambiguous ending to Final Fantasy VII.
Oh gosh, but the little one came in and
even the ending of Stranger Things is like Final Fantasy VII. It's ambiguous. They don't admit it, but the Duffer Brothers were clearly Final Fantasy VII fans. Sorry, spoilers if you haven't seen it, which y'all haven't. But
to finish my thought, finally, the little one came in and saw Adobe Illustrator. Well, I wonder who I learned it from.
I'm just taking it. I know I'm learning it from you. You're teaching me things.
I don't know. This is how the podcast started. But,
it's your podcast.
But the little one came in and saw Adobe Illustrator on the iPad, and he freaked out for a second, why do you have AI? Also, I was gonna say Legally Blonde, you mentioned that. I recently got a book called The Princess Knight, and
The Princess Diaries also released in 2001.
Oh, cool, I've seen that movie, too.
It's a cute little movie.
Yeah, it's fine.
I like Gary Marshall. Most of Gary Marshall's movies are good.
Yeah.
Almost saw that in theaters, but went back to see... I'll get to it in a minute. The movie that I saw in theaters in 2001, we almost went to see The Princess Diaries, but we went back to see the other movie for the second time.
Okay.
Which is also the only movie I've seen in theaters twice.
Damn. But I bought The Princess Knight simply because I was told it's Legally Blonde, but make it medieval. And then I watched Legally Blonde. I read the first few pages of the book, and I'm like, yep, that's Legally Blonde, and then watched the movie.
Now, the second American Pie movie came out in 2001.
I don't think I've seen the sequel.
Have you seen the original?
Yeah, you showed it to me.
When?
A while ago?
I have no memory of that.
I'm sorry?
I feel like I haven't seen it in 20 years at this point.
It was not 20 years ago. I can tell you that much.
August 24th, Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back. The fifth film in Kevin Smith's New Jersey trilogy is the only movie I've seen in theaters twice. Your mother and my father and I went to see it, and then your mother and me and her friend went back to see it, and her friend was not actually old enough to go to an R-rated movie, so we just kind of had to lie to get her in.
Interesting.
Because you don't think about that kind of stuff.
I guess.
That much. Well, I mean, I was an adult by then. I wasn't trying to take a little kid to an R-rated movie. I mean, she wasn't a little kid. She was
17.
A year younger than
16,
us,
yeah.
Well, she was right under the fucking age of what? I don't remember if you had to be 18 to get into an R-rated movie at the time or 17.
I don't remember either. I've never had any trouble, but I've also not tried to go as a when I was under the age, so.
And where I lived, technically there was a city ordinance that nobody under either 17 or 18 could go to an R-rated movie. But some of the theaters in town would let it slide, as long as you had a parent or guardian with you. And some of them wouldn't. And I think that was just the issue, not if we had been her parent, it would have been fine. And we were trying to play it off like, oh, you left your ID in the car. Oh, no, what are we going to do? And after him and hawing for a minute, the lady was like, her boss was like, just come on, I'll stay the ticket. Just go.
Just let them through. I don't want to deal with this today.
Yeah.
Nice.
So that's how I ended up seeing Jane Silent Bob Strike Back twice.
And
then your mom and I would see The Princess Diaries.
Mom loves
on
The
home
Princess
video,
Diaries.
and I'd be like, yeah, that's a good movie.
She loves that movie.
Well, that's pretty much the end of summer 2021.
Okay. What was the fall?
Well, I'm getting into it now.
How was the fall?
Not necessarily Training Day. Denzel won his first lead acting Oscar.
Never seen it.
Nor have I.
What do you think?
Fat Girl, October 12th.
Amazing.
Never even heard of it, but I'm kind of interested now. Let me open that tab up.
Do you think there's somebody out there though that has made it their mission to watch every movie ever?
I
don't think that's
I'm
possible.
Pretty sure they failed.
I don't know, but I there's so many people out there. Somebody had to have done that. But I mean, okay, all of the movies easily known of and whatnot. Not something lost from 100 years ago. And only vaguely recorded.
There's a lot of movies out there, Alex.
How many hours worth though?
I mean,
I don't think they've achieved it yet.
Well, no, that's what I said. Is they failed.
But they haven't failed yet until they're dead, though.
Ooh, speaking of Jack Black, Shallow Hal.
Okay.
I always like that movie a lot. Some people say it's problematic nowadays. I don't know. Watch it and decide for yourself. But I always really liked it.
Fair. I don't know it, so.
Yeah, you need to see it, and then maybe you like it, maybe you don't. But you should at least see it. It wouldn't be fair just for me to describe it. I don't think. I think you need to actually experience it for yourself. And then decide. Pokemon Mewtwo returns.
Okay.
The fourth Beethoven movie. Not the composer. The dog. Yeah.
There's 4 of them, though?
At least.
And the 4th one came out when I was born?
Beethoven's 4th came out December 4th, 2001.
Is that also, a newer version?
Jimmy Neutron Boy Genius came out December 21st, 2001.
That's insane. I know that for sure.
The aforementioned Lord of the Rings Fellowship of the Ring, Cameron Crowe's follow-up to Almost Famous, Vanilla Sky, was out in December that year. The Royal Tenenbaums, another one of my 5 or 6 favorite movies of all time, and one we will be watching later this year.
I have not seen it yet.
You will.
You will, damn it. Look, I've let you down the last 25 years. I'm making it up for it now.
And then plenty of other movies I've heard of, but I don't think they'd mean anything to you guys. Things
Probably
like
not.
The Majestic, The Shipping News, Gosford Park, I Am Sam, Black Hawk Down.
I have not seen or heard
I've
of
seen
any
Black
of
Hawk
these.
Down. I don't think I've seen any of the others. I did kind of want to see The Majestic.
I don't know what
that was Frank Darabont's follow-up. Well, I don't know if it was follow-up.
Who
Frank,
that is.
Frank Darabont is the director of Shawshank Redemption.
Okay.
Amongst other things. But Jim Carrey starred in it.
Nice.
It's about like a movie, I think like an old theater that was refurbished and brought back. I'm not doing it justice, obviously.
It's okay.
So, but yeah.
So that's movies?
That's the list of movies released in the U.S. in 2001.
Great, I've got more visual media for us. I found TV shows. How much TV were you watching in 2001?
I mean, probably a lot. I don't know how much first-run shows I was watching, because in 2001, if I was watching TV, I was either watching the aforementioned movies on HBO, or I was watching movies on, well, it would still be VHS for me. You know, my first DVD player was the PlayStation 2 that I got at the end of that year.
Interesting.
So we were still watching VHS. So we were running
DVD players still new?
Yeah. DVD players came out in like 98, maybe.
I thought they were much older than me.
No.
At least more than 3 years.
VHS was still the standard. Even in 2000, 2001, it was not strange for us to go rent a VHS. Or certainly record stuff on VHS. But yeah, no, that was still the standard. DVDs were just starting to come into their own at the time. But as far as watching something broadcast on TV, I was more than likely watching sports. So basketball, football, occasionally baseball, even occasionally maybe a hockey game or some golf or some bowling if I was bored. Or professional wrestling, which, you know, is, and probably will always be my favorite form of entertainment. I don't know how much new stuff, because even like the American version of Who's Line, I was probably winding down how much I was watching it.
Damn, one of my friends was watching that today.
I want to say like Buffy the Vampire Slayer, I didn't get into until a couple years later because my parents started watching it first, and then they got me into it, and I got into it starting around season 4, and I caught up on it in syndication.
I only started watching that last year, maybe.
So yeah, and of course I'd go back and watch anything in syndication. Like,
yeah.
So I had just gotten into MASH a couple years before.
MASH is amazing.
And I was probably still watching that heavily. And
I know sometime
around this time we got Game Show Network on cable, and I fucking fell in love with that, watching all the old game shows. I remember Win, Lose, or Draw, I had enjoyed when it was on the air originally back in the 80s, and catching back up with that, I really had a good... It's basically Pictionary. It's basically teams of... It was like 2 celebrities and the contestant.
Yeah.
And they're getting up there and drawing out stuff for each other. I love that. So much fun.
There's no Game Show Network now?
There may be, but I don't have cable anymore, so what the fuck am I going to watch it on?
There's no online version? Streaming version?
Not that I know of. I mean, there's Buzzer on YouTube that shows a lot of old...
Okay, like, business-wise, I understand why some stuff would still be cable-only, but at the same time, just considering nowadays, I am shocked something's not on streaming.
Game Show Network is also where I fell in love with the original 70s version of the Match Game, with Gene Rayburn as the host, and, like, Richard Dawson, and Charles Nelson Riley, and Brett Summers as the panelists. Oh, I fucking love 70s Match Game. That Game Show Network also... presented an interesting dichotomy to me because when I was a kid growing up, I used to watch The Price is Right with Ray Combs as the host, and I thought Ray Combs was great as the host. Mm-hmm. And then Richard Dawson, who was the original host of Family Feud, came back to take over for Ray Combs, and I thought Richard Dawson sucked, and he was awful in that run. But then going back on Game Show Network, I watched the original broadcast of Family Feud with Richard Dawson. I thought Richard Dawson was great, and then I started to see the Ray Combs, and I was like, maybe I overestimated Ray a little bit. Fuck, girl, can I get a fucking word in edgewise? I'm literally, enumerating a thought right now, and you're going to cut me off in mid-sentence. People need to know that perhaps Ray Combs was a bit overrated. I know he ended up getting an accident and becoming a paraplegic and killing himself, and that's all tragic, but maybe his run on the Family Feud wasn't so great. Maybe it was still pretty good, but Richard Dawson in the 70s was still better than Ray Combs in the 80s, even though Ray Combs in the 80s was better than Richard Dawson in the 80s.
Okay, I don't know any of those people.
I didn't mean to bring down the podcast that we started out with a 9/11 joke. So, I mean, I didn't know things were off limits. I apologize.
I just had nothing to say. Would you like to know some of the shows that debuted in 2001?
I mean, you can mention those, but we should also look at what's still just running then.
I will do that. Just the way Wikipedia has it sorted, this is first.
I will say Frasier. I was a big fan of that show.
Never saw that.
Fuck Kelsey Grammer at this point. I don't even know if I could go back and watch it, but at the time I really enjoyed Frasier. And I wasn't personally a fan of it, but Friends would have still been going strong because it would have ended in 2004.
Friends is a good show.
Friends is a good show. Like I'm not saying it's the greatest show ever or anything, and I wasn't even personally a huge fan, but anytime I watch an episode, it's funny, it's enjoyable. But I wouldn't.
Was The Nanny on?
I didn't watch The Nanny.
How did you not watch The Nanny?
I think Nanny started.
Who the fuck did I watch it with then?
Your mom.
I was gonna say probably Grammy.
Or Greg.
Did
Greg was a big fan of it, yeah.
That I did not know.
Yeah, and it's
very possible. I like that show.
It's fine.
Good show.
It's fine.
I like the main actress.
It's fine. Okay.
Okay. I'm gonna try to find some stuff that actually sounds familiar.
But yeah, besides just the stuff, because the stuff that debuted, it's like, okay, it debuted, and then a lot of it went away, and some of it lasted, but there was also stuff that was still going.
Some of this stuff was fucking iconic in my childhood.
You got the list of what debuted.
I've got both.
Okay, I was going to say, I could pull up a list of, like, what the top shows were.
I was going to say, because Wikipedia has both, this is above, this is the top half of the list.
Oh, poor Ed Sheeran, he claims an episode of South Park ruined his life.
What?
Poor Will British baby.
I doubt that's true anyway. Well, the first one that I recognize on this list, debuting on January 12th... That wasn't
an insult to British people. I don't know, musicians annoy me nowadays.
I'm sorry, he's got a concert I was kind of wanting to see.
Touring, spreading COVID willy-nilly, not giving a shit.
Anyway, the first show that I recognize on this list, Lizzie McGuire. We watched that at least.
We did, but we wouldn't have been watching in 2000.
No.
I might have... Look, 2001...
It was still going for a few years.
I've said this before. Disney Channel was originally a pay channel.
Okay. Makes sense.
When we got cable, you had your basic cable package, but then there were certain channels you could pay extra
for. Did it on demand cost extra for Disney?
Well, maybe not, but on demand wasn't the thing when we first got cable.
Well, yeah.
When we first got cable back in, like, 89.
Let's talk about, like, 2008.
When we first got cable back in 89.
89. Taylor Swift's birthday.
We had our basic cable packs that had the majority of the channels. And even then, back then, it was probably like 30 or 40 channels at most. But there were 4 pay channels that you could pay extra for. And I don't know if you bought them ad hoc or if you could get a package or whatever, but it was Disney Channel, that was Channel 19, HBO was Channel 20, Channel 21 was the movie channel, and Channel 22 was Cinemax.
The fact that you remember the numbers. I have no idea what number channels were.
Cinemax was 21 and the movie channel was 22. And then a few years later, the movie channel was dropped and we got Showtime.
Nice.
But we paid for Disney Channel and HBO. And then within a couple of years, my parents had mainly gotten Disney Channel for me, and I was kind of outgrowing it at the time. So we dropped...
They'd probably get it again.
Within a couple of years, we dropped Disney Channel and had HBO. We had HBO the whole time we had cable. And at different times, we'd have like packages with Showtime and whatnot. But then by the time you came along in 2001, Disney Channel was part of the main cable package.
Yeah.
And in fact, we got digital cable for the first time in the summer of 2000.
Okay.
That was when digital cable came around. We started getting the digital boxes and the whole packages changed. So sometime around then, Disney Channel became part of the regular package. And so then, yes, when you came around, we started watching more Disney Channel and it became more and more pronounced the more you grew up and stared wanting to specifically watch it. So I may have watched some Lizzie McGuire at the time, but I probably would have watched more in later years as you got a little older. Even Stevens, too, the show with Shia LaBeouf and Christy Carlson Romano, who was the voice of Kim Possible. I really liked Even Stevens. And then, of course, Kim Possible I really liked, too. But again, even if it was on the air in 2001, I was probably watching it more with you circa 2003 than I was 2001.
I obviously remember Lizzie McGuire the little...
that era, too.
Yeah, I think it was a little bit later, but yeah.
But it was...
the little drawing of
That's the Raven was on the air by 2003, I know
for sure. I think also, I remember at one point in time I had a Hilary Duff backpack.
Why are you looking at me? You know, you have another co-host.
Because this is just how I sit, and that co-host has nothing to say about Lizzie McGuire. Yeah. But also, no, I was going to ask you.
Say something about Lizzie McGuire, motherfucker!
Lizzie McGuire exists, probably?
I don't think Gabby knows Lizzie McGuire.
I don't.
The dad on Lizzie McGuire just passed away recently.
Oh, R.I.P.
It was, one of the Carradines. Is it Robert? I get their names mixed up. I know Keith Carradine from Kung Fu. He passed away several years ago, but yeah, I think it was Robert Carradine, who was also Lewis in Revenge of the Nerds.
Good to know. But I was going to say,
good to know that he's dead, or
good to know that he was
good to know that fucking nerd is dead.
No,
that movie's so problematic. He deserves to die.
Wow, Alex, how dare you?
Damn.
I was trying to ask: did Disney, once it became like part of the regular package, did it remain part of the regular package, like going forward, like my whole life?
Yeah, but they also had spin-off channels. They had like Disney XD and Disney and other things.
Okay, then maybe I mixed some stuff up.
And eventually there would be different tiers where you got different sets. You didn't pay for like one specific channel extra, but you paid for different groups of channels. Yeah. But as far as I know, just plain old basic Disney never left the basic cable package.
Because I was thinking, I mean, this would have been closer to the streaming era, because it would have been a time that I wasn't sitting down and watching every Disney show all the time, but on occasion I would want to watch something, and I felt like there were times we didn't have it, but maybe it was on demand.
Even in more recent years, we were watching things like Phineas and Ferb and Good Luck Charlie and Zack and Cody.
Liv and Maddie.
Right, yeah. And Jesse.
Yeah.
What was on...
Oh my gosh, real quickly, I learned, most of the Disney shows, when being aired in other countries, they're just dubbed over. In India, there were 4 shows that they just completely refilmed. It was the same exact story, script, character, etc. They just filmed it differently, and apparently,
that's kind of cool. On some level, that's kind of cool.
I agree. But one thing which was really, really interesting, kind of funny to learn, in Jesse, there's the adopted kid who's Indian. They didn't change that for the Indian version. He's still Indian. Everybody's Indian.
A little jingoistic, but okay.
It was interesting. Hi, Mikey. Okay, another show that we absolutely fucking watched. And don't talk about the most recent version of it, because I don't know what the fuck that was. Bob the Builder.
Yeah, but I bet we didn't watch it much in 2001. Did it debut in 2001?
Yeah, it did. Yeah. I mean, by 2002,
by the end of 2001, you were 8 months old. So
by 2002, we were probably watching it.
Yeah, a lot of the stuff we would have watched together in later years.
Yeah, but it started in 2001. But the fact that it debuted
there is important. Yeah, yes. I gotcha.
House of Mouse. I don't know what that was, but it sounds familiar.
Yeah, probably something involving Mickey.
I don't know. It was on ABC. That's all I know.
Maybe not. Then maybe it could have just been showing like classic Disney movies or something.
Say, did Disney own ABC by then?
Yeah. Okay. Sometime around then, yeah.
I have no idea when they owned ABC.
And they were in partnership. They and Disney, ESPN, ABC all got together around that time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Book of Pooh.
Yeah.
Maybe vaguely remember it.
Is that the one where there were the puppets?
I have no idea.
That might have been the one where there were puppets.
Okay.
It's fine.
I remember that being a Pooh thing when I was a kid, but that was
other than the fucking horror movie, I don't know if there is any bad Winnie the Pooh.
We don't talk about that movie. Yeah, aren't they doing a sequel?
Good for them.
I don't remember. I know I saw somebody cosplay it one time. Anyway.
They make a lot of money on it.
Power Rangers Time Force.
Gabby?
What?
Power Rangers Time Force debuted in 2001.
I didn't watch much Power Rangers Time Force.
Makes sense. It debuted in 2001. That's it?
Yeah.
Okay. Mighty Morphin Power Rangers debuted in 93, and Gabby's watched plenty of that.
Yeah, but that's exactly.
Okay, but what's the... I mean, Ninja Storm probably came... When was Ninja Storm?
Probably closer to 2005?
Maybe. But I'm just saying, it's not like you can't watch something...
Yeah, but I didn't watch much Time Force.
Predates you.
I will eventually, probably.
The Andy Dick Show.
It has a pretty good opening I've listened to.
All of these I don't know. My Wife and Kids Boot Camp. Okay, here we go. March 30th, we actually got 2 pretty good shows from Nickelodeon. At least pretty good at the time. The Fairly Odd Parents and Invader Zim. Fucking loved Invader Zim.
I never watched Invader Zim.
I'm sorry.
I did watch Fairly Odd Parents,
yes,
but I've been told we're not supposed to watch it anymore.
I don't know. I know there were issues. There were a lot of issues with Nickelodeon people. Probably Disney people, too. But Invader Zim is great. And the little guy, Guh, I freaking loved him.
Yeah, I'm familiar with it, but I don't think I ever watched an episode of it.
I didn't watch, the entire thing, but I did watch some of it. Okay, next one that I recognized. What was Dismissed on MTV?
Dismissed?
Yep.
Sounds like a dating show, maybe, where people dismissed.
Unwrapped on Food Network.
That was the one with Mark Summers, right?
I don't know.
Where they went back and this is how butterscotch is made.
That would be cool.
It's a fun show.
That sounds like I should find it somewhere.
It's probably on HBO Max. A lot of the food shows are.
I like HBO Max. They got some good stuff.
It's a good series.
HBO original series, The Gilded Age. Love that show. Waiting for season 3, I think. Baby Looney Tunes.
Okay.
I thought you liked Baby Looney Tunes.
No, I like Tiny Toons.
Okay, fine.
That's a completely different thing.
I don't know what the two are.
Tiny Toons is not young versions of the Looney Tunes. It's just young Looney Tunes characters, like Buster and Babs Bunny, and they're all different characters. They're separate
cool.
From and
then the baby one is babies.
And the adult Looney Tunes are like their teachers and their mentors and stuff. Cute. So it's a different vibe.
That's cute. Spider Games. WWE Tough Enough.
Oh, Tough Enough was the reality show where they trained people to be wrestlers and eventually they would win a contract at the end of it.
Interesting.
I enjoyed the first season of Tough Enough. Maven was the winner. He's got a really good YouTube channel now. I enjoyed the first season of Tough Enough. Even the second season and maybe even the third season. Eventually they made it part of SmackDown and then it was gone for a while and it came back and it wasn't. But I enjoyed it. I mean, I like reality television.
Yeah.
To a degree if I'm interested.
It depends on
if I'm interested in the subject and it's done well, I enjoy it.
And you're interested in some of the people.
So,
maybe.
Yeah. I enjoyed the first season of Tough Enough. That was definitely something that Grampy and I watched.
Nice. The best damn sports show, period.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sports show.
Okay.
I remember the name. Who was the host of it?
I have no idea. All this tells me is that it debuted on July 23rd on ESPN.
I remember the name of it. I did watch a lot of the sports shows. I remember what's the one with Michael Wilbon and Tony Kornheiser, First and 10?
I was going to say, why would you expect me to know that?
It debuted around this time, probably a year or two later. I liked that show an awful lot back when I was a big sports fan. And, when I was younger than this, I used to really like the morning block on Sundays when they have, the sports reporters and then Sports Center and then the NFL shows.
Nice.
So I was definitely into it. And I remember that title, and I'm trying to think of who the host was, because that's a big part of those kind of shows. If it's a singular host or even a pair of hosts.
I will let you look
their personalities have a lot to do with...
Definitely.
And I remember the title of it, but I'm trying to remember if it's one that I watched or not.
Some TV show host that I don't think is relevant to 2001 that's pretty damn fun to watch.
This is Fox, not ESPN.
The one I've got here is ESPN.
No, it's Fox.
Well, Wikipedia says ESPN.
Well, the actual Wikipedia page for it says fucking Fox Sports Net.
Good to know. I don't know.
I didn't watch Fox Sports. I don't even know how much I had it on my cable.
That is interesting.
So that's one I was familiar with, but it's not one I watched.
Yeah. But, The Great British Bake Off.
Interesting.
Those guys are pretty... No, that's not on the list. I was saying those guys are pretty interesting hosts. Pretty fun to watch.
Oh. Yeah.
I don't think it's that old of a show. Maybe, though. Hard Knocks... Mythquest.
Hard Knocks is another documentary series about NFL teams. They follow a training camp and whatnot of a different NFL team.
I knew the name. It.
Even though I'm a big NFL fan,
I don't think I
ever watched a season of it.
Damn.
I just either didn't find the time for it, or just something about it didn't pique my interest.
Okay.
Either one could be possible, or they could both be possible.
Yeah. The Wayne Brady Show. that familiar?
I don't remember. Is it a talk show?
I don't know. It's on ABC.
I'm a fan of fan of Wayne Brady. I love him on Who's Line. He's the host of the new version of Let's Make a Deal Now. But I don't remember it was probably like a daytime talk show or something. I wasn't as likely to watch something like that. I do like Wayne.
There was like one show.
I don't specifically remember that
talk show kind of thing I liked watching, and it's been canceled. So here's a good show that was not canceled. Well, at least not problematically kind of canceled. That we fucking love.
Shows just get canceled too because they have low ratings or they're expensive.
Yeah, I was saying this show may have been canceled for other reasons, but I don't mean socially problematically canceled.
Just because that means the run is done.
Yes,
it's like you cancel a subscription or something.
Exactly. Anyway, Oswald.
Oh, I love the Oswald.
Yes. Oswald is fucking fantastic.
I bet we only watched it so much in 2000.
So we may have.
Most of these are going to be slightly later. Although I have heard that Fred Savage is kind of problematic.
Shit.
Who knows at this point how much of that's true? You just see a post and like somebody just mouthing off, or maybe it's legit. I'm not saying it's not.
Yeah. But
I didn't take the time to research it. I unfortunately have other things I need to do.
Yeah. But that was
about what celebrities done what.
At the time as a kid, that was a fantastic fucking show. And when I was older,
I love Oswald.
And I could
the little blue octopus.
Yes. With his little wiener dog.
Mm-hmm.
And his flower and penguin friends. But also, like, once I was old enough to be playing games on the website.
That the actress who did the voice for his flower friend was Sandy from SpongeBob, but apparently it's not, but they sound very similar.
Good to know. I haven't watched either of those shows in quite some time. The Amazing Race.
Yeah,
Lost.
It's another reality show that followed in the wake of, like, Survivor. I never really watched it.
Here's one I did not know. Anne of Green Gables, the animated series on PBS Kids.
I wouldn't have... I might have heard of it by then, because I knew your mother by then.
Yeah. The Proud Family.
The Proud Family was a great show.
Yeah, they had a...
But again, I'm just not sure that we watched it much in 2001.
Yeah. I don't know. I know they had, like, a sequel series. Really quickly, I just want to point this out, because the talk show, I think, that sort of style show, whatever, that I was interested in, that has since been very problematically canceled, The Ellen Show. It debuted in 2001.
Interesting.
I'm trying to see if there's anything else. Star Trek Enterprise.
I liked the Conan O'Brien show as far as a talk show. Occasionally I would watch Letterman. Occasionally I'd watch Leno just if I liked the guest or had nothing better to do.
Yeah.
But I wasn't... Any type of format talk show, whether it be like the more salacious daytime ones like Maury and Jerry Springer, or whether it be like the sit-down talk show versions, either the nighttime version or like the morning ones with Regis and Kathy Lee, or Regis and Kelly later, or even like Rosie O'Donnell and whatnot. I did watch Rosie's show hard for about a year.
Okay.
Just because it was one of those things where I enjoyed most of the guests. I enjoyed the segments. It was that right time of day when I was there sitting in front of a TV, or could be.
Yeah.
But I'm not a huge talk show devotee. And I don't know if I've ever watched an episode of Ellen.
I watched some as a kid.
It's not even like a comment on Ellen one way or the other. It's just flat out, I don't think I ever watched one. There's a lot of things I didn't watch.
No, that's fair.
For various reasons.
We've already established you had a new baby in 2001, so...
And I'm not a huge talk show fan. I like specific talk shows.
That's very fair. According to this, October 1st on HBO, Tales from the Never-Ending Story.
I'm not familiar with that one. I missed that one.
Okay. Degrassi, The Next Generation.
I didn't watch the first generation.
I didn't watch any of it. Mary-Kate and Ashley in Action. I didn't... Oh, Totally Spies! Loved that. Didn't realize ABC Family? Did not realize that. Justice League, The Popeye Show, Iron Chef USA, on a channel I don't recognize.
It's not on Food Network?
It says UPN on this.
UPN was one of the... you had the big networks, ABC, CBS, NBC, and in the 80s, Fox came along. Mm-hmm. And then at some point, I started recognizing them in the early 90s. You had the WB, which is Warner Bros. Network, and then UPN, which was United Paramount Network or something like that. And then at some point, like, those two networks merged and then became the CW, and I think they exist in some form nowadays, but it was one of the two smaller networks of what would be like the 6 major broadcast networks.
Yeah, CW had some good shows. Shows.
It could be the same show that would eventually end up on Food Network.
Yeah, it could be. There's not a link.
It seems like it's at least from the same lineage. I love the original Japanese Iron Chef.
Really?
And I love... Oh, yeah.
I didn't know you watched it.
Yeah, you gotta watch it on YouTube now. It's not on anything else that I can find.
Kind of.
I love your mom got me into the original Iron Chef, and then eventually the Food Network version.
Food Network's great.
Spawned with Alton Brown in the Dr. Hattori role.
I keep getting an ad to get Vogue for like $12, $15 a year, something like that. But I need that deal for the Food Network magazine. Okay. Returning in 2001. Shows that returned in 2001. Space Ghost Coast to Coast. Unsolved Mysteries.
Space Ghost, that's another one I never really got around to watching, and it wasn't any specific reason. I wasn't so excited that I was going to seek it out, and just never really crossed my radar. I was familiar with it. They took, like, the old Space Ghost cartoon.
Yeah.
Him and his nemesis, Brack, or whatever. Like, I watched Space Ghost cartoon a little bit when I was a kid, and they turned it into, like, a talk show where they'd have celebrities on there, and I don't even know if it was a legitimate interview or if they were just taking clips of people from other places. But it was one of those really kind of cool, kitschy shows.
Yeah.
One of the things that was a really signature show of early Cartoon Network.
Yeah.
But, or Comedy Central. I think it was Cartoon Network. It was one of those two channels. There was a lot of shows. There's a lot of shows from that time that could have been either one. It just happened to be one of the other.
That one was Cartoon Network.
But,
/ Adult Swim.
Yeah. And it's just not one I ever got around to watching, but it wasn't because I had any hate for it. I just didn't have so much love that I was going to seek it out.
Okay, really quickly, I need a correction to this list. I initially said that they had a list of stuff continuing to air. That is not what this is. So you might want to look that up, because I no longer see that anywhere. These are shows that ended previously, but were coming back in 2001, being brought back, whatever. That initially ended in 1999. Aqua Teen Hunger Force.
That's another one I didn't watch.
Yeah, and Dexter's Laboratory. I didn't know that. Dexter's Laboratory ended in 1999?
Yeah, Dexter's Laboratory was one of the original Cartoon Network originals, along with, like, Johnny Bravo and Powerpuff Girls.
I watched all of those as a kid.
Yeah, I didn't watch any of them as anything.
I didn't realize they were so old. Okay, and then some shows that ended in 2001.
Yeah, they were like the successors to the original Nicktoons, which was Rugrats and Ren and Stimpy.
Interesting.
Real Monsters, Rocko's Modern Life.
Very interesting.
Doug. I think the original was Rugrats, Doug, Ren and Stimpy, and I feel like there was another one. Maybe the, what was it called? The Extreme Sports Kids.
I don't know.
They were called Rocket League, I think.
I think that was on this list.
That might have been a little
No,
later.
I think I saw it on the list, but I didn't know it, so I skipped it.
But I can't remember the exact order. Ren and Stimpy, Doug, and Rugrats are the ones that always stuck with me. And then Rocko's Modern Life, I think, came out just a couple years later.
Okay.
But we've done that episode already.
Okay, so shows that ended in 2001. Because I just talked about the things that started. Buzz Lightyear of Star Command. The Jamie Foxx Show. I'm scrolling through for things that sound familiar. Madeline! That ended in 2001!
Okay.
I knew that show. I liked that show. Cleopatra 2525, Strip Mall, WCW Thunder.
Yeah, now that was, of course, WCW had started airing Nitro primetime on TNT opposite WWF Monday Night Raw every Monday. And then starting in 98, Thunder would debut. And it would go back and forth between like Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. But it was their secondary show, and which WWF would also add in 99 with SmackDown. And like I say, the day SmackDown would go back and forth between Thursday and Friday. Thunder would be Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. It was Thursday Thunder originally.
Interesting. Yeah, no,
that would have been one of the things I would have been watching regularly at the time. Although actually not in 2001, because WCW ended in 2001.
I was going to say, also on this list, so Thunder ended March 21st, March 26th ended Nitro, and March 31st ended Worldwide.
Yeah, we could get into that now if you want to, but I think we're talking about other things.
That might be a different episode.
We talked about it a bit. Well, I mean, it was a big part of my pop culture experience in 2001. We did talk about it a bit on the previous episode when we watched WrestleMania from 2001.
Yeah. Well, next up on the list was Teletubbies. That's big in my childhood.
Teletubbies did not start in 2000.
No, it ended in 2001.
You just made me type Teletubbies.
I'm so glad of that. We have, of course, starting off, we only had Poe, but we did get to take a trip with Tiny Dude, and we got, I want to say Dipsy, Tinky Winky. We got those two, because Lala's the only one we don't have, the yellow one. We knew somebody who had it as a kid, but they no longer had it by then. All That, which apparently returned in 2002. Baywatch. The Howard Stern Show.
Baywatch. Howard Stern was a radio show, of course, but they did have a TV version
Howard Stern radio show, yeah.
They had like a 30-minute edited version of it on Entertainment Network, the E-Network, which I like to watch a lot.
That sounds like taking a podcast and putting it on YouTube.
Kind of. Except it wasn't the full show. Like I said, the show was it was a morning show. It was probably like 4 hours long.
Okay, maybe it's more like taking a podcast and clips of it and putting it on TikTok up as a short.
Or even editing it down for YouTube, but if you're doing a 4-hour podcast and you edit down to a 30-minute episode.
Yeah. Walker, Texas Ranger.
The perfect comparison.
Star Trek.
You know, fuck Chuck Norris. I'm glad he's dead.
I didn't realize he was part of that. Star Trek Voyager.
He was the titular Walker.
Look, I know the name. Nothing else. I'm still scrolling through. Zaboomafoo! Zaboomafoo's dead.
I like the song. I don't know how much we really
I love the show.
I don't remember details of the show. I just remember me and you and Zaboomafoo.
I think there was a time they could, like, get food out for the animals, or they'd have Zaboomafoo go get some food out of this dispenser. It was so fucking cool. I loved Zaboomafoo, though, and it's sad that he's dead. I think he's got a grandchild still around, but still.
Yeah, I prefer he'd still be around than Chuck Norris. It's sad that Chuck Norris outlived him.
MasterChef USA, Men in Black the series, WWF Live Wire, WWF Superstars of Wrestling, Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. How did that end in 2001? Was Mr. Rogers even
alive then, still?
The show ended in 2001? I don't know.
I'll look up Fred Rogers.
You do that. I mean, maybe that was the... Well, I was going to say, maybe that was the version that didn't technically have him in it.
Fred Rogers died in 2003.
World? Damn. I was going to say, I know Daniel Tiger exists nowadays.
His middle name was McFeely.
McFeely?
Yep.
Okay. I wonder where that name comes from. Maybe it was like a family name, a maiden name, etc.
Yeah. Probably.
Bob Patterson. I recognize the name, but that's it.
Okay,
that's about it. That ended. Oh, entering syndication this year, actually. Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Yeah, that's where I would watch. I watched like the last season or two. No, let's see. I watched at least the last 2 seasons. First run, I think.
Yeah.
But most of the Buffy I watched would have been in syndication.
Nice. I don't fully understand this list.
I said, I was late to the game with Buffy. Like, I'd seen the movie, and the movie is fine, but it's nothing like the TV show, even though they're both made by the same person.
Good to know.
But I think there were some studio machinations.
Who made that show?
On Joss Whedon.
That's what I thought.
I know, he's probably problematic, but he made a good TV series. He made 2 of them, at least.
I was going to say, didn't he do stuff MCU? Yeah. One of my favorite TV shows of all time.
He made good TV shows.
King of the Hill also entered syndication that year. Okay. Unless you want some... Oh, wait, no, actually, I have to acknowledge this. There's also notable TV movies, and one of them is Halloween Town 2, Calabar's Revenge.
I have a couple of truncated lists for TV shows we can take a quick peek at.
Yes, well, I had to acknowledge that one because I fucking love Halloween Town, and I always say I'm going to watch it, and then I don't.
Gabby like 13 shows ago.
Oh, probably. And then also, a Rugrats Kwanzaa. No memory of that, but a Rugrats Kwanzaa. Any memory of the Rugrats celebrating Kwanzaa?
No, but again, I would have stopped watching Rugrats probably 5 years before this.
And picked it up a few years later.
Until you were into it, so it would have been whatever we happened to cross.
Yeah.
We wouldn't have necessarily seen it, because that would have been first run in 2001, but...
Yeah. Okay, I had to click on that. This makes so much more sense. I had to click it, and it says it was from the perspective of Susie. That makes sense. Okay, continue on. We've got a list from you.
Like only the black kid could celebrate Kwanzaa?
I mean, I'm sure others could, but it is an African-American holiday.
What's wrong with that?
And Tommy and them were Jewish. I've seen clips of them celebrating Hanukkah.
Okay, I have a list on IMDb, the top 30 TV shows of 2001. I don't know if this is based on ratings or if it's just subjective.
Yeah.
We have like 24, which was a cool concept. 24 had 24 episodes. Each one was 1 hour of that day. In real time.
I saw a show. It was Millennials versus Gen Z. Something to do with, like, TV shows or something. And I recognized Lost as being one that they either gave, like, a quote, a description, the theme song, something, and they had to guess the show. And that was one of them.
But I never really watched it because it was like an action spy drama and I just wasn't in the mood for something like that at the time. But I like the concept.
Yeah, the concept sounds cool.
The idea of, it's 24 episodes, each one is 1 hour in a day. I really like the concept. I would have just preferred maybe something a little more lighthearted or a little more, relationship drama. That's the kind of stuff I would have been more into at the time.
Yeah.
The Sopranos, the landmark HBO mob series, never watched an episode of it, just didn't care.
Yeah.
Didn't think it was anything wrong with it, just wasn't on my radar. It was on my radar as far as I knew it existed.
Yeah.
I just didn't personally want to check it out. NYPD Blue, another classic cop show on Fox, famous for showing butts on TV, back when you didn't do that.
Okay. I watched
But again, didn't care. Band of Brothers, I think that was a miniseries on HBO. It was like a World War II miniseries.
Yeah.
Didn't watch it.
Okay.
The British version of The Office. Didn't watch it, or the American version.
When did the American version exist?
maybe 2006, 7, around that time.
6, 7?
I didn't do that on purpose, I promise.
I have caught myself doing that accidentally so many times.
Law and Order Criminal Intent, like the 4th iteration of the Law and Order franchise.
Which one's the one I know?
At least the 3rd, either the original or a crime scene investigation. Or not crime scene investigation. Criminal Victims Unit. No, what the fuck is it? Special Victims Unit.
Yeah, that's the one I know.
God damn.
With the lady that Taylor Swift named her cat after.
Mariska Hargitay.
Okay.
The character's name is Olivia Benson.
Yeah, that's the
actress is Mariska Hargitay.
Taylor Swift named her cat after the character, technically.
Yeah, I watched a lot of Special Victims Unit. Me and your mother liked that show a lot.
Me and Grammy watched it.
I may have watched like an episode or two of the original Law and Order. Especially they did crossovers with another series from the late 90s, Homicide, which I liked a lot.
I don't remember that.
I liked Homicide a lot, and they did a couple crossovers. In fact, the character that Richard Belzer plays on Special Victims Unit originated on Homicide.
Yeah.
And he did some crossover episodes on the regular Law and Order, and after Homicide ended, they started Special Victims Unit, and they brought the character over. So he played the same character on 3 different shows.
Damn.
Sort of like Kelsey Grammer did with Frasier, even though that was just 2 different shows.
Yeah, Law and Order and NCIS. Within that genre, those are the ones
6
I
Feet
liked.
Under, another HBO series that I just wasn't into at the time. The West Wing. Political drama.
I know that one. HBO keeps recommending it to me.
I've heard it's good, but I just wasn't. I just wasn't personally. Crossing Jordan, no interest in it. Don't really know that much about it.
Me neither.
Stargate SG-1. I watched the first Stargate movie, and that was the end of Stargate for me. It's sci-fi. Philly, I don't even remember. I don't know what channel that was on. Tom Everett Scott from That Thing You Do was in it, apparently.
Nice.
I don't remember it at all. The Guardian.
Not 2000.
Yeah, The Guardian, I don't remember that. The Agency sounds like just another sort of boilerplate, cop show.
Probably.
Or something like inner workings of the CIA specifically.
Makes sense.
Dark Angel, that was James Cameron's series that introduced Jessica Alba to the mainstream, and also that Lita broke her neck filming an episode of.
Damn.
That's what she came back from the night I was at Raw, and then I brought the t-shirt home.
Yeah.
Didn't watch the show, though. Witchblade, I don't remember. The X-Files, of course, started in the early 90s, but I never watched it.
Is that the thing I've got on VHS tapes in my room?
Yeah, it's the one about the division.
Never watched
the division of the FBI that's supposed to investigate, like, paranormal stuff and aliens and whatnot.
I was like,
very, very popular series. Just, again, I just never got into it.
Yeah, I mean, I've got VHS tapes if you wanna. I'm sure it's on streaming, but we've got VHS.
And it's not even like I couldn't. It's just I wasn't really looking for it.
Yeah.
And I've never felt the need to go back and watch it. Unit 1, a mobile task force from Denmark. I don't know what... That doesn't even sound like an American show.
Who knows?
Wolf Lake. I'm not familiar with that. Special Unit 2.
Okay.
We're really reaching it. Will and Grace.
Foot of it.
No. And I don't want this to come off the wrong way.
Okay.
I remember when Will... Because, again, I was like a pop culture junkie.
Yeah.
I read Entertainment Weekly. I was into, TV Guide to see what the new shows were going to be every year. When this was advertised originally, I thought it was about a platonic relationship between a man and a woman. They were like best friends and roommates. And I thought that was such a cool concept. You don't see that a lot.
Yeah.
And then I found out he was gay. And I have no problem with him being gay, and I recognize now how revolutionary it was to have gay characters in the mainstream. But I was disappointed because I wanted to see something represented that I never got to see. Like,
that's not something
if it's a man and a woman together, there must be some kind of sexual tension between them or something. They can't just be platonic best friends.
Yeah.
I don't see that represented a lot. So it put me off to it, but I recognize, what a big deal the show was, and I've watched enough episodes with your mom to recognize it's a good show.
Yeah.
Just at the time, it's one of those things, it's perception. Or it's expectations.
Yeah.
If you want something, it's not what you want, so it's hard for you to ever look at it for what it actually is.
Exactly.
Farscape, I'm not from ER, of course, but I mean that's from the early 90s again, medical drama. One of the big, the linchpins of the NBC must-see TV, along with like Seinfeld and Friends, but I never watched. I don't like medical dramas. I was into Grey's Anatomy for like 2 years.
I've never been into Grey's Anatomy. I think there were some medical shows I liked as a kid, and that was that.
I don't like the medical part of the medical. I don't like the sensationalistic.
I have too many emotions. I don't like the sensational.
I don't like the sensationalistic disease of the week kind of thing. Oh, what's this next tragedy we've got to overcome? And then like with Grey's Anatomy, they just started killing off characters, and I think that's lazy writing. Like if an actor wants to leave, find a better way to get rid of them. If you're going to kill somebody, it needs to matter. It needs to be really important to the story. You need to do a lot with it. I just think they do it too willy-nilly.
Yeah, no, you know that show that I like that you keep singing the theme song to?
Zuboomafoo?
No, the OC.
Oh.
No, season 3, I'm watching it. I haven't got into it yet, but I've read spoilers. Apparently, the network wanted them to kill off one of the main characters, to hopefully pick up more views and whatnot. But also, one of the main characters, the actress wanted to leave, so season 3 finale, they kill off one of the characters I actually kinda like. What are you thinking over there?
I want you to draw the Boomafoo OC crossover.
Oh, God.
And how much money I'm willing to give you to do it. Because I really want this now.
I could use some money. But,
technically, it is your week for the thumbnail.
Oh, fun. So, Boomafoo and the OC.
I really want that badly now.
Gotta try to figure out how do I draw that? How do I draw a lemur to start with?
But I'm done with the rest of I don't recognize any of the other shows on this. Let me go to the other list I have, which is just the top rated television programs, which would just cover network, so this wouldn't cover cable at all.
Okay.
Because cable and network ratings were not, I don't even know, I doubt they even still are. And I don't know how things are measured with streaming nowadays. But
I have no idea.
The aforementioned Friends.
Yes.
And even now, the rating for Friends was like 15. 5 years before this, the top rated show would have been like 30.
What the fudge?
The rating represents so much. It represents so many million people or a percentage of the audience or whatever. So don't take that number to mean anything other than it's half of what it was even 5 years before this.
Yeah.
And maybe even a lower percentage 10 years before this, when you basically just had, before cable really came into the mainstream, like in the 80s.
Yeah.
But anyway, Friends was the top-rated program. CSI, Crime Scene Investigation, ER. Everybody Loves Raymond was a show that got a lot of hype when it debuted. And I remember Graham and I watching the first episode, and I was like, eh.
Okay.
Never really got that into it.
Okay.
Law and Order, Survivor, Monday Night Football, the aforementioned, weekly sports programming, West Wing, Will and Grace, Leap of Faith, Becker. I don't remember that at all.
Me neither. I mean, I don't know why I would remember it, but I'm not familiar with it.
It starred Ted Danson, who of course came to great fame as the lead of Cheers.
I don't
specifically remember Becker. It's 60 Minutes, which of course was the news program on CBS.
Nice.
One of the longest running shows of all time. Frasier, JAG, which was Judge Advocate General. It was about the judicial branch of the Navy.
Okay.
Inside Schwartz, I don't specifically remember. Judging Amy. Just Queens, Kevin James sitcom.
I don't know so many of these shows.
Yes, Dear, Crossing Jordan, The Guardian, The Practice, NYPD Blue, Baby Bob, Dateline NBC, another news magazine show, Fear Factor, another reality show where they'd have the contestants do gross out things, or like have to go up, climb high heights and shit.
Yeah.
Law and Order, Criminal Intent, Providence, 60 Minutes 2, and Family Law, which was another CBS program, which I assume was another scripted drama.
Okay.
But
sounds like something I've heard talked about.
Of all these programs listed, Monday Night Football is the only one I was probably watching on a regular basis.
Oh my gosh, at the time and whatnot. Yeah, not too many of them.
I would watch an episode of Just Shoot Me every now and then, but most of these I was not watching.
Yeah, that's probably fair. Okay, it's not technically TV related, but I should have mentioned it with the movies. I forgot it, and we cannot end this episode without me talking about these two things. The first Barbie movie released in 2001. I believe it was Barbie and the Nutcracker, which I have seen. I vaguely remember it. The dolls were really popular. I did not have them.
Dominatrix Barbie? There's your other option for a thumbnail.
How dare you do that to the Nutcracker?
Barbie and the cock and ball torture. You're just walking on.
I bet you could easily Google that.
Well, yeah, but I'm not gonna steal somebody else's art.
Oh yeah, no, I'm just saying. I bet that's very easy to find. Yeah, like if I need a reference or something.
I'm not going to steal somebody's art for my podcast.
No, that's not what I'm encouraging. I have an
in-house artist.
That's not what I'm encouraging. But no, that's good movie. Obviously, would go to kick off several more movies still getting made today. And the 2000s were like the best era of the Barbie movie.
I have like a dominatrix teddy bear. I got it at the gas station across the street from where my mom worked.
I have a lot of questions, and I don't think I want the answers.
I don't think I have it anymore, though.
I doubt it.
I probably let you play with it, and you probably took everything off of it.
Probably. But also bringing up dolls, American Girl, and I actually had to check myself on this earlier. I was slightly incorrect. They launched the Girl of the Year collection. I don't think, I could be wrong again, but I don't think they actually did it every year, the first couple of years.
Apparently Robot Chicken was around in 2001.
Good for Robot Chicken. I've never watched it.
I've watched just bits of it here. No, well, okay, this is bullshit. The search, best 2001 TV shows. Robot Chicken is listed. I click on it. Robot Chicken, 2005 to 2022. Fuck the internet.
Yeah, fair. But American Girl launched their Girl of the Year line, which again is still going strong today. I have the one from this year, Raquel Reyes, but I don't have the one from 2001. Her name was Lindsay Bergman, I think. She may have been the first Jewish doll they made. May have been the second. I don't remember if her or Rebecca were first. And also, Kanani, speaking of Girl of the Year, Kanani, Girl of the Year, 10 years later, 2011. So all the girls are usually about 10 years old in their stories, meaning they were born 10 years before whatever the year they're popular in, meaning she was born in 2001. And that's a fun fact because I got into American Girl around 2011. She was still all over the website playing her games, etc. And she was the doll that I really, really loved and really, really wanted, and I still haven't gotten because, damn it, she's expensive secondhand. But she was born in 2001, so that's a fun fact. And I have read her books.
The character was born in 2001, or the doll was created in 2001?
The character was born within story. The doll's from 2011. Lindsay Bergman was the doll in 2001. She would have been born in 1991. Just like this year's girl, Raquel Reyes, was born in 2016.
All right.
Yep.
So what else you want to talk about? You sound like you were fixing to wind it down, but we haven't talked any sports yet.
We haven't, and I have quizzes.
Really quickly, we can review the champions from the 4 major sports in the U.S. in 2001. Super Bowl would be the Ravens, who were originally the Cleveland Browns and moved to Baltimore in like 95. Winning their first Super Bowl over the New York Giants. It was kind of a blowout, but it was an entertaining Super Bowl. NBA, we'd see the Lakers win the championship over the 76ers. That was the Kobe and Shaq Lakers. I was pulling for the 76ers because I was now an Iverson fan.
Yeah.
Baseball in 2001 was... who was baseball in 2001?
I don't know, who was it?
Oh, it was the Diamondbacks, because that was after 9/11. Because it was the Yankees and the Diamondbacks, and the Yankees being the New York team, everybody was like, oh, the Yankees got to win it from New York, but the Diamondbacks won. The Arizona Diamondbacks, they weren't an expansion team. I think they were a team that moved to, because the Rockies and the Marlins were expansion teams back in like 92.
Yeah.
Maybe even earlier than that, but around that time. And the Diamondbacks are a newer franchise, or they're a newer team, but I think they were a team, they might have been the Expos, the Montreal Expos, because they moved somewhere. And then they won the war. And then hockey was the Colorado Avalanche. And I only remember that because I looked it up. I cheated on that one.
That's fair.
I'm not a big enough hockey fan to remember that.
I mean, I had to fact check myself on American Girl.
And then of course we should point out that the following year's Super Bowl, which would follow the 2001 football season, was when the New England Patriots won. That was Tom Brady's first Super Bowl. The year that Drew Bledsoe got hurt and Tom Brady took the team over.
How was the Super Bowl?
And the Patriots won the Super Bowl, the first Super Bowl after the 9/11 attacks.
Yes.
So everybody thought that was appropriate.
Probably.
I was pulling for the Rams.
How did the Super Bowl that actually happened in 2001 go?
I just talked about that. It was the Ravens and the Giants. What the fuck
How did I miss that? I don't know.
I mean, damn.
I've been listening to you this whole time. You talked about baseball and hockey and then the 2000, whatever.
It was a blowout if you just look at the score, but the game didn't feel like a real blowout until we were getting later in the game.
Yeah.
It felt somewhat competitive and entertaining enough.
Yeah.
It didn't feel like one of those... It didn't feel like one of those 80s blowouts where the team, just runs away with it. It's like, okay, well, this was boring.
Yeah.
And that, like I said, that came after the year before when you had the Rams, who just came out of nowhere with the greatest show on turf, beating the Titans in a really classic Super Bowl. And then we got the Ravens and the Giants, and like I said, the next year we'd get the Patriots with the upstart quarterback Tom Brady winning his first Super Bowl against the Rams.
Yeah.
Who were going in the heavy favorites. And what about my favorite sport of all, professional wrestling?
Yes.
And yes, professional wrestling is a sport. Yes, the outcomes are predetermined. It's not a competition, other than a competition for eyeballs or for your money, but at least at one point, Webster's Dictionary, which was accredited, established international font for the definition of words, defined sport in a way that professional wrestling certainly fit at least one of the main definitions of it. So from that point forward, I've always called professional wrestling a sport. Call it whatever you want. It's still, like I say, probably my favorite form of entertainment. And we talked a lot about it on the last episode. 2001 was a very transactional year for professional wrestling, or a transitional year more than transactional, because I'm sure gates and merchandise sales and everything else were down. But we talked about how World Championship Wrestling and Extreme Championship Wrestling both went out of business and were, for all intents and purposes, what's the word I'm looking for? Bought, of course, but incorporated into, enveloped by the World Wrestling Federation, who, even though it had enjoyed record business up until that point and would continue to do well for a little while, would start to drastically fall off, due a lot to both the lack of competition and its own creative malaise, beginning, of course, with the ill-advised Stone Cold Steve Austin heel turn, which we watched in real time at WrestleMania 2001, continuing with the botched WCW invasion, which would become the WCW-ECW alliance, which was also mishandled. You'd see things like, Steve Austin would be a heel for most of the year, but then they turn him back babyface. Angle would be a heel, then he would be the babyface rival to Steve Austin, then he would be a heel again, then he would turn back babyface to save the company, but then Ric Flair came in, and then Austin was the babyface again, and it seemed like they were starting to get things back on track by the end of the year, but then they would merge the WCW and the WWF championships, and Chris Jericho would be the fucking champion at the end of the year, which, I was a Jericho fan at the time, and it was like, oh, that's kind of surprising, but I don't think it was the best choice for business, and it was essentially the end of the Stone Cold Steve Austin era.
Yeah. Even
though nobody really realized it, as he would continue to get minimized and pushed to the side to the point that he would get frustrated and leave the company in 2002 and then come back for a retirement match that nobody knew was a retirement match with Rock in 2003. But 2001, as I say, that's really the end of the Attitude Era right there. Mm-hmm. And that's not to say there was nothing good in professional wrestling, but it was really a downer of a year compared to the years we just experienced. And like I say, the two other major American companies would both go out of business, with WCW presenting its last pay-per-view, WCW Greed, in March of that year. I've got the page for it pulled up. I definitely ordered the show. We were getting less and less WCW pay-per-views at the time, but, we knew there was a good chance this would be the last one. And, you got a lot of people that are really, like Jason Jett and Kwee and Elix Skipper and Kid Romeo. But then you've got names you recognize, like Billy Kidman and Rey Mysterio Jr. The main event was Scott Steiner beating Diamond Dallas Page to retain the World Heavyweight Championship. You did have some fun stuff with Dustin and Dusty Rhodes teaming up against Ric Flair and Jeff Jarrett, so we got to see a little more of the Dusty-Ric Flair rivalry as WCW was, going by the wayside. And then, of course, we had the very last Nitro, which would be simulcast. At the time, Nitro ran from 8 to 10, and Raw ran from 9 to 11, so they weren't completely head-to-head.
But had a bit of an overlap.
And then this was the simulcast, so the first hour of Nitro was just Nitro, and the second hour of Nitro was... Nitro and Raw were simulcast. You saw the same thing on both channels.
Okay.
And so that was sort of surreal, but we had some things like Ric Flair and Sting, who were sort of like the quintessential World Championship Wrestling matchup. We got to see that on the last Nitro. But it was a weird way for WCW to come to an end, and then ECW would go out really with even more of a whimper, as they presented their last pay-per-view the same month. Oh, no, they presented their last pay-per-view in January. Did they really finish in January? I have that listed, but... Yeah, I guess that's the last one in January. God, I thought they went a little longer than that. Guilty as Charged 2001. I'm pretty sure we got this show as well, but again, it's not what we had gotten used to, we had some of the familiar names like Rob Van Dam and Jerry Lynn. That was one of my favorite rivalries in the history of wrestling. I loved their matches back in '99. Rhino was the ECW World Champion, and he would finish defending against Sandman, but it just, neither company was what they were by that point, which, makes sense if you're going out of business, but it was a strange time. And like I said, there was entertaining stuff in the WWF at the time, and it was still the WWF at the time. The name change wouldn't occur for another year. I really liked the Invasion pay-per-view that they did in July. There was a lot of WWF versus WCW stuff. Yeah. I even wrote a review of it that appeared in the Torch newsletter, and said it reminded me of the pay-per-views that I, was watching when I first got into wrestling in 1991, but it wasn't the same high that we would experience during the so-called Attitude Era. It was clearly not there.
How much 2001 wrestling have I truly seen?
Probably not a lot. We watched The Biggest Show on the last episode of the podcast.
But it's not something we've dove deep into.
Again, because it was really a down, in the ebb and flow of the really great years and the really bad years. And even some of the years that maybe weren't as good, if you're just going to compare match to match, show for show, I would, like 1991 or 1992, I'm going to be more nostalgic for, so I'm more likely to show it to you. Yeah. Than I am a year like 2001, where it's just kind of, it was there. Yeah.
Just there in the background. Too busy.
Like some of the best stuff they did was when Kurt Angle was challenging Austin for the World Championship, and they turned Angle babyface, and they had the match at SummerSlam, and then Angle would, I think he either won or lost the match, but it was disqualification. The title wasn't going to change. So I guess he probably won by disqualification.
Yeah.
And then by the time we got to the next pay-per-view, well, September 11th it happened. And Angle is, not only is he, the Olympian, he's the American hero, which is always part of his character, whether he was a heel or a babyface. It's in his hometown of Pittsburgh. Oof. It's right after 9/11, so of course he's going to beat Austin, win the title.
Yeah.
But then, less than a month later, they take it back off him. So he gained no momentum from it. Damn. And then we got the three-way match with him and Rob Van Dam and Austin, which I love because Rob Van Dam and Kurt were two of my favorite wrestlers of all time, and I was a big Steve Austin fan, but it was like a 9-minute match, and it's like the title didn't change hands, and it's like, eh.
9 minutes really quick.
So, like, oh yeah, for sure. Okay. Especially, I may be underselling it. Look, maybe it was a little long, but it feels like it was really short.
Yeah,
main event.
Felt like a quick match.
Maybe somebody was injured or something at the time. It was not the barn burner main event that we'd come to expect from the Attitude Era.
Yeah.
So it was, it was a fine year in wrestling, but it was definitely not one of the banner years. And like I say, it was a year that really did a lot of damage to it as well.
Oof.
Has
it ever even been close to being the same, in your opinion? I'm not talking
creatively,
but yeah.
I mean, I don't know, because I checked out for a lot of the preceding decades.
Yeah.
I'd flit in and out, but I wasn't watching it every night or every time it was on after that.
I was going to say maybe...
I do think that WWF creative / WWE creative really peaked in like late 2022 when the Bloodline saga was really building and Sami Zayn was associated with him, and then through the feud with Sami and Roman, and then into Cody's challenge for the championship at WrestleMania, and then of course they dropped the ball by having him lose the match, and then I think the creative was really scattershot after that.
Yeah, I was going to say,
I don't think it was as good, but that was sort of like the most recent peak to me.
Yeah.
Where they once again dropped the ball, and they've still yet to recover from that. And while we talked a good bit about wrestling on the last episode, and we've mentioned it several times, we really probably should address the elephant in the room.
Yes.
So, Babar? No, of course, the biggest story, I think, from 2001 was the terrorist attacks on September 11th.
Of course.
Usually abbreviated just to 9/11. Of course, I made the joke at the beginning, which I'm not trying to make a joke out of anybody suffering. I certainly do think the loss of lives was definitely tragic, and I feel for anybody who lost their lives, and more so even for people who lost loved ones during that day. I was also sickened by the rampant Islamophobia that would follow in the wake of it, and I tried to, fight back against it then, and it seems like we've never really gotten away from that. But you can't really not talk about it if you're going to talk about 2001. I mean, personally, I was not really directly affected by it that much, honestly. Yeah. I'm not Islamic. I didn't lose anybody in it. It did delay a trip I was going to take by like 2 days.
Yeah.
But I wasn't, that was the greatest personal effect to me because I was you were a baby, of course, and your mother and you and I were going to go to New Jersey to visit her family. And we were getting ready to leave. I was in the bathroom, and you and your mom were just sitting in the living room.
I've been told I was watching Bear.
My parents were, but we lived with my parents at the time, and they were both at work. My mother worked at the local animal shelter. My father was an appliance technician, so he had an office, but basically he was in his truck most of the day, going around different calls. And they had both left for work, and then all of a sudden, I was in the bathroom, and my dad was knocking on the door. I'm like, "Didn't you go to work?" And he was like, "Hey, a plane just hit the World Trade Center," and it was like, "Wow, what a crazy happening!" That shit shouldn't happen. We usually control air traffic better than that, but like 5 minutes later, he's knocking on the... No, I was still in the bathroom. I'm pretty sure. Like 5 minutes later, he's knocking, a second one just hit it. And that's the point. It was like, well, this wasn't an accident.
No.
So, yeah, that was a crazy day.
I can imagine that being crazy. I was going to say, the defining trait of my generation, the thing that separates Gen Z and millennials, is that Gen Z either wasn't alive or was too young to remember 9/11.
Yeah. Like I said, we were supposed to leave to go to New Jersey that day. Your mom, we decided not to go that day. We went to like the local Walmart to pick up some rings we had on order.
Nice.
And then came back home and just chilled, and we ended up postponing it like 2 days. We left that Thursday, and I still remember driving by the exit on I-95 for the Pentagon. Of course, it was closed.
Yeah.
After one of the planes had crashed into the side of the Pentagon. Yeah, that was an interesting time. And I'm not trying to minimize anybody's suffering.
Yeah, no.
It is, 25 years later, there's only...
Yeah.
I only have so many personal reflections. I do remember,
exactly.
I do remember staying up that night watching the news, watching all the coverage of it.
Yeah, the only time I can think of a time that I saw something, I'm like, fuck, let me turn on the news, and I sat there, like, what do you mean this is happening, is when the stuff at the Capitol was happening in 2020, was it?
2021.
2021? Okay.
Yeah. January 6th, 2021.
Yeah. Sorry, the years blurred a bit.
Just over 5 years ago.
Yeah.
The recording of this.
So that's the only time I can remember of seeing something, and it's like, what? And so I turned on the news, and I was like, what the fuck? But okay, you want to talk about some other events in 2001?
You want to get away from that as quickly as possible.
I don't have much to say. I'm sorry, I'm Gen Z. I don't remember it. I don't even remember being taught that much about it in school.
I remember watching the news and thinking one of the firefighters they were interviewing reminded me of Bubba Ray Dudley.
Nice.
Reminds me of Bubba Ray Dudley. If they make a movie of this scene, they should cast Bubba Ray Dudley to play that firefighter.
Oh gosh, how many movies have they made of that at this point?
A couple, at least. I'm not saying that facetiously. I mean, I specifically know of a couple.
Yeah.
They didn't necessarily cover the fucking news coverage of the event.
Very true. There
have definitely been dramatizations of it.
Yeah, that doesn't shock me at all. I didn't know of any of them. The only thing I can think of movie related is I think it was one of the Spider-Man movies, but some movie that was coming out later that year, early 2002, whatever, had the Twin Towers in the poster.
I think the first Tobey Maguire Spider-Man was 2002. The first Sam Raimi Spider-Man was 2002.
Okay, yeah, so like the initial posters had the towers in them, and they decided to edit it out.
Because then I think the sequel with Doc Ock was 2004.
Okay.
If not 2005.
I've still not seen any of those movies. I've seen the Tom Holland ones.
I think the Doc Ock one was 2000, because we saw the Doc Ock one in theaters.
Yeah.
And I saw the original one on VHS, on video.
Okay.
Maybe DVD. Probably video. I guess video is just the phrase for it, no matter what.
Probably.
On video, but...
Okay, I found an event relatively important to acknowledge, because we use this website all the damn time and have used it several times on this episode alone.
Pornhub!
Oh my fucking god, Rob. You have to verify an age to access that
it was probably RedTube. I don't know if Pornhub was around back then.
I don't know when Pornhub was created.
RedTube was the first porn, video sharing website I remember.
Interesting. I remember one time as a kid, I was trying to put on YouTube to go to bed, and I accidentally didn't type you.
Interesting.
Yeah. That was definitely something.
So you just went to Tube?
Yeah, Tube.com. It was among the category we were just speaking of. But anyway, January 15th. That was back when we used to sleep in the living rooms together. We'd watch something on the TV and you'd fallen asleep, so I was watching something either on my phone or my 2DS. But anyway, January 15th, 2001, Wikipedia is launched.
Yeah, I was barely even...
Wikipedia is hardly older than me.
I was barely even internet literate at the time. I got my first...
2001.
I got my first internet connection in 2000.
I don't like knowing that I'm this old, Father.
I got my first personal computer at, the end of 98, beginning of 99, and I didn't connect to the internet until 2000.
This is absolutely crazy to think. You, as well as several other people and other generations, just casually not getting internet computer till 2000-something. Me over here, always fucking having it.
The first thing I ever bought off of Amazon, I had to mail in a check to get.
Meanwhile, my generation apparently doesn't know how to write checks.
It was Robert Rodriguez's book, Rebel Without a Crew.
Nice. Very nice. I saw a post the other day talking about how a lot of Gen Z, a majority of them, and obviously now Gen Alpha, don't know how to write checks. I fortunately do, but yeah.
I didn't even have... Are you okay over there?
You? Yes.
He's allergic to this.
I didn't even have it. I didn't have my first debit card until 2001.
What do you mean?
I had an ATM card that you could withdraw money from.
What is an ATM card?
You go to an ATM and withdraw money with it. That's it. It wasn't... You couldn't use
debit cards are not this new, correct? This is just a you thing?
No, they're pretty new. They were new in the late 90s. They were credit cards, cash, checks, and you had ATM cards to withdraw cash from an ATM. But debit cards came around in the late 90s, early 2000s.
You heard this shit? Debit cards weren't a fucking thing for part of his life.
Yeah.
In fact, I don't know how universal this is, but when I first started hearing about debit cards, I looked down on that concept, that's cheap. You got credit cards are what people with status have. A debit card, you're just using money out of your account. You can just use cash.
I feel like that's technically still the attitude towards everything. Credit is definitely still the premium kind of thing, but
I got my first personal bank account in 90. 95, 96, sometime around then.
How old were you by then?
16, 17.
Okay, not bad.
16, 17.
Just laugh you. I was about that age when I got mine.
And
That's typical.
And then I just had a savings account when you were conceived, and I had an ATM card with it. I could draw money out with it. I didn't even have my first checking account until a year or so later when I took over the... I delivered newspapers, but I delivered them personally to customers, to their paper boxes.
Yeah.
And within a year or so of doing that, I would take over the paper racks where consumers would put their quarter in and get their newspaper. And at that point, I had to collect all the money from that and then pay the company for the newspapers. That's when I got my first checking account, and I still had an ATM card to withdraw money, or I had checks. I didn't get a debit card until several years later.
This is a really odd thing to learn.
No, that's when debit cards...
Really shocking.
I can't tell you when the first debit card existed, but I can tell you they did not become common until either the late 90s or the early 2000s.
I would have expected debit cards to at least be 20, 30 years older than that.
I maybe even had a debit card before my parents had a debit card.
What?
They were not common.
I don't like this. Oh my gosh. Sometimes I casually forget that, yes, the internet predates me, but it only predates me by so much, and including this sort of stuff. I don't know, that's just been a given my whole life.
I'm not even sure what we were talking about.
Of the internet, because I mentioned Wikipedia getting launched, and you talked about how new computers and things were. That is insane. There are a lot of events on here.
Oh yeah, the internet. Yeah, and back then I would get like a free trial of like CompuServe was my first internet service provider.
Okay.
You get like a disc and get like a free trial of it.
Okay.
And I think I had a subscription to them for a while. I had AOL for a while, and eventually I had Earthlink. That was my first like cable internet. It wasn't cable. What's the other word? Broadband.
Okay.
No, there's another word too, though. Maybe it was broadband. But there was dial-up. Maybe it was dial-up broadband.
I've heard so much about dial-up.
Yeah, I had Earthlink for a while.
I assume dial-up was not in our area, but like when I was alive by then, like it was kind of, we've moved on from that. Or was it still a thing?
I had dial-up until like 2008.
I don't remember dial-up though. The problem.
The internet. We had internet at your grandparents' house. That was dial-up. We had nothing at our house until I moved the computer over there in like 2005, and we had dial-up.
I was about to say, I know I was like 5, maybe 6 when I started looking up. Well, okay, I don't remember what year did Phyllis come out.
We didn't even have cable at our house when Dylan was born. We didn't even have cable at the house. Your mom got it for me for my birthday in 2005. Like, I had cable at my parents' house.
I enjoyed going over there. They had the internet and cable.
We didn't have cable. And then cable, as far as cable internet, we maybe even had dial-up when we moved across the street.
I was going to say, maybe I do vaguely remember it. Because, I mean, people talk about it. It's such a millennial thing. But, like, a defining thing of their internet experience. But, I mean, I do also remember when I was little, I didn't use the computer a whole lot. Eventually...
I may be lying to you. We may have had the Earthlink by then, which wasn't... I can't remember the other word. It was... I think broadband is the cable internet.
Okay.
But maybe broadband is the one in between dial-up and cable.
I have no idea.
But maybe by the time we moved the computer over to our house...
Yeah.
We had a stronger internet. Because I do remember, like, when we went to the Cher concert in 2004 or 5...
Yeah.
We had to use dial-up at Sally's house, and that was so fucking slow. I had my laptop, and it was so fucking slow to just check anything. So we probably had more. But yeah, I mean, that's what I started with was dial-up. And I had dial-up.
That makes sense.
I had dial-up at least for the first couple years of internet, until I got... Earthlink was the first non-dial-up that I had.
You existed before the internet.
Technically, I guess. I don't know when the actual first iteration of the internet
like
existed, but as far as
common kind of internet.
As far as it being widespread, for sure.
The start of knowing it how we know it today.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, like I said, when I was little, I don't remember using the computer a whole lot till I was probably closer to maybe 4 or 5, at least. And eventually one of our friends would teach me how to search up a Taylor Swift song on YouTube, and you would teach me how to access Microsoft Paint. That's what I did on the computer initially. And it wouldn't be till years later that I would get into games and other YouTube and everything. February 18th, Dale, I forget how to pronounce his last name, is killed in a crash.
Earnhardt.
Yep. You knew this. Apparently February 19th.
Yeah, that was pretty shocking, honestly.
Yeah, reading that was kind of shocking. I mean, I didn't know that information, so... I mean, I knew he was dead, but that was it. R.I.P. Also on February 19th, in the UK, the 2001 foot and mouth outbreak started.
Alright.
February 19th was eventful. There's a lot in here. There's a lot of sad stuff in here, but I bet that's probably true for a lot of years, honestly. Eep. So I had to go quiet for a second. I need to find something.
Well, we weren't talking about anything, so I didn't have anything to add.
That's fine. Okay, March 2023. March 23. The deorbit of Russian space station, I don't know how to pronounce it, is processed with debris falling into the South Pacific Ocean after the station enters the atmosphere and is destroyed. March 24th, Apple released Mac OS X. And March 26th, you want to guess what was on March 26th?
In 2001?
Yep.
The last episode of Nitro?
Yeah, World Championship Wrestling goes out of business and is purchased by its chief competitor, World Wrestling Federation, bringing an end to Monday Night Wars. March 26th. Okay, here's some stuff from April. I doubt I see my birthday on this list. But April 7th, the NASA Orbiter 2001 Mars Odyssey launches on a Delta II rocket. Australia's football team won against American Samoa on April the 11th. Oh my gosh, okay. April 15th, ECW files for bankruptcy and ceases operations. It is eventually bought by WWF. Yep, there's literally nothing on April 19th. Literally nothing. We've got April 18th and then April 22nd. I don't know how to pronounce this stuff that happened on April 18th. I apologize. Something about overthrowing a president. On May 31st, Lithuania joins the World Trade Organization, and research into Crohn's disease confirms that it is identified with mutation of the NOD2 gene. I believe I read that correctly. I hope I did. Oh my gosh. Okay, June 5th, Tropical Storm Allison hits Texas. June 7th, United Kingdom general election stuff. Sorry, I don't mean to actually just brush over that. I don't have much to say about the UK general election. Apologies. Okay, oh my gosh, wow, there is so much. July 16th, China and Russia signed the 2001, I forget how to pronounce that word, Russian Treaty of Friendship. I apologize for forgetting how to pronounce that word. It's probably really obvious. July 26th, Moldova joins the World Trade Organization. August, a ceasefire is negotiated to end the War of the Peters. And that just says August, not August 1st or anything. I assume it's the 1st. Okay, August 9th, 10th. Whoa, a lot. Oh my gosh. Oh man, we're getting into war stuff. There's war stuff. Well, okay, now we are in September. So what else happened in September? Some riots, summer bombing, 9/11. September.
9/11 happens every September.
Everybody knew what I was referring to. We've already discussed it. September 17th, George W. Bush delivers remarks, etc. Okay, wait. Delivers remarks at the Islamic Center of Washington, praising Muslim Americans and condemning Islamophobia in the aftermath of the September 11 attacks. September 18th, the 2001 anthrax attacks begin in the U.S. Father, please inform me of more of these things.
I don't know, just some people would get deliveries and it would be white powder, and there were fears that it was anthrax.
Okay.
I don't know how much of it actually was.
Okay. September 19th, Palestinian leader forbids Palestinian soldiers from firing on Israeli forces, even in self-defense. Israel agrees to a ceasefire. September 20th, George W. Bush declares a war on terror, officially the global war on terrorism. And September 22nd, we get into some maybe exciting space news. Spacecraft Deep Space One flies within 2,200 kilometers, 1,400 miles of Comet Borrelli. I'm going to assume that's how it's pronounced. Let's see what happened in October. Did anything maybe, I don't want to say interesting, that feels rude to the other things, maybe a little more exciting happen in October? So far, no. Well, wait, October 13th, American scientists create the first successful clone of a human embryo. Don't know how exciting that is, but it's some science news. I like science news, usually. October 15th, NASA's Galileo spacecraft passes within 181 kilometers, or 112 miles, of Jupiter's moon Io. Is that how it's pronounced? That's exactly how it's spelled.
I think it's Io.
Io? Oh my gosh, it's literally the letter I and the letter O. Oh my gosh.
I haven't heard it said in a long time. I mean, it's been 20 years since I took an astronomy class.
We've got the answer to an earlier question.
It could be Io. I don't remember.
I have no idea. I don't typically hear it talked about either. October 23rd, Apple introduces the iPod. They introduced them later the year. They sold an estimated 450 million iPod products by May of 2022. I feel like that's a lot. October 24th, the 2001 Mars Odyssey arrived at Mars. Oh my gosh, okay, this is kind of an interesting fact, especially when we're playing GeoGuessr and stuff. October 25th, to avoid connotations with the Rwandan genocide, the government adopts a new national flag for the country. And Microsoft also released Windows XP on that day.
I did not use Windows XP until I went back to school in 2007.
Oh.
Because I had Windows 98 on my computer, the four-inch computer that I got in 98, 99, and I thought that was a great operating system, and I had no reason to change it.
I have no memory of that operating system.
And then I got an older laptop originally, it was my first laptop, and then I got my new laptop, and with my new laptop, I got Windows Millennium Edition.
I have no memory of that one
either. Which was the kind of the subsect from Windows 2000.
Yeah.
And I had that forever, and then when I finally got a new desktop, it had Windows Vista, which was a horrible fucking operating system.
I liked Vista.
But it was better than Windows 8. Let's just be real about that.
Oh gosh.
But it just had so many fucking issues. I never used Windows XP until I went back to school, and all the computers at school were using Windows XP. And then I got a new laptop that had Windows 7. That was a great operating system.
Okay, in my opinion, Windows 7, peak absolute best. I don't want to hear anything about 11. 7 is the best.
7 was great.
And then Vista and XP are the other ones I remember, and I liked all of those.
Vista had so many security issues and had so many fucking pop-up issues. It was fine.
As a kid, I wasn't really concerned with security.
I used it for years, don't get me wrong.
And I remember the pop-ups of the 2000s.
Not even so much security like it was gonna fucking hack a computer, just security issue like it was annoying.
Do you remember all those pop-ups of the 2000s, though? So, every website, so many pop-ups. It was something, but that's the internet I grew up on. Okay, November. Various things start to happen. Hurricane Michelle hits Cuba. Ooh. Strongest tropical cyclone to make landfall on the island in more than 39 years. November 7th, the national airline of Belgium went bankrupt. Fun fact, I cannot remember their name, but I was researching some stuff for this episode. And one of the royal family members of Belgium was born in 2001.
Yeah, I'm surprised you don't have a list of other celebrities.
I do, actually.
Not necessarily your birth year, but either one.
I have that list. Let me finish November and December, and we can talk about that list. Because there's actually a few names on it that I recognize. Well, I mostly looked up ones of 2001, but I can definitely grab a list for some. Born on April 19th as well.
I didn't mean to interrupt. I hope you were finished.
I'm just about finished with, I'm in December 2001. December 8th, an Ebola outbreak is confirmed in Gabon. On December 11th, China joined the World Trade Organization. December something, whoa. December 15th, 2001, the Leaning Tower of Pisa is reopened to the public after 12 years of reconstruction. Were you aware that the Tower of Pisa wasn't open to the public for a while there?
Nope.
So probably not. You didn't have a whole lot of internet in those 12 years. Okay, that just feels really awkward to think about now. You lived in the time and we didn't have the internet to give us our news, like, within minutes of it happening.
Yeah. I mean, it's both a blessing and a curse. Sometimes I miss things about those days. Sometimes I'm glad to have the info. It just depends.
Yeah, it possibly depends on what the info is and how much of it's coming out how quickly.
Plus, in an ironic twist, it seems like the information is both more accurate and less accurate now that we have the internet.
Yes. But yeah, I don't think about that. And, like, something like that about the Tower of Pisa, how likely is it that you would have really heard that as somebody not looking to go, not in the area, etc.?
Yeah.
But at the same time, that's so crazy to think, like, that was just back in the late 90s. That wasn't 50 plus years ago. That was hardly a little more than 25 years ago. Oh my gosh. Okay, continuing. I'm at 22nd. Did anything happen on Christmas? No, nothing happened on Christmas, according to this. December 27th, China is granted permanent normal trade status with the U.S., and that's how we end 2001, in terms of events. Now let me pull up these birthdays, because I have a list. I have 2 lists. Celebrities born on April 19th, as well as celebrities born in 2001. And I'm going to start with the 2001 list, because that was actually a fun, interesting list that I looked at earlier. There it is. One of the birthdays, actually no, let's go in order. Okay, in order, there are names that I recognize. You probably recognize more of these than I do. But starting off March 6th, Milo Manheim. He was in Zombies, and I think if I remember correctly, that's who's been cast to play Flynn in the new live-action Rapunzel. Continuing down. April 19th, this is one that shares an exact birthday with me. Pink Panthers. I'm going to assume I'm the only one familiar. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know. One of my friends is really into her music right now, but I specifically know her song Stateside that Zara Lawson was on and has been, like, everywhere, and that's the song that Elisa Liu did her performance to. Rachel Ziegler, however it's pronounced, was born May 3rd, 2001. And continuing down, Sasha Obama was born June 10th. Did not realize that we were the same age. Continuing further down, there's a lot. I'm going to probably mostly recognize people such as actresses, actors, musicians, etc. That sort of stuff. Okay, Dixie D'Amelio, born August 12th. I believe sister to Charlie D'Amelio. Popular TikTok dancers, influencers, whatever, that had a Hulu series. I did not watch the Hulu series. It kind of felt like I don't want to say they were the Gen Alpha Kardashians, because that's not accurate, but that sort of vibe, you know? And then, let's see, a Princess of Lesotho, October 7th. Kayla McLaughlin, October 13th. You know that actor.
If you say so.
Stranger Things.
What was the name?
Kayla McLaughlin.
Who did they play?
I don't know the character's name.
I know some of the actors and actresses' real names.
Let me pull up another tab.
Show me a picture.
I don't have a picture.
Fuck.
Right after that is Rowan Blanchard. She played Riley on Girl Meets World, and she's also playing a character in The Testament. So I was just watching her the other day. Okay, Caleb McLaughlin. There you go. I mean, that's probably an older one, yeah. Yeah, okay.
I know a couple of the actors' real names. I know most of the characters' names.
Yeah. It didn't say who he played, so... But yes, he was born October 13th, and then Rowan Blanchard was born October 14th. Yeep. Okay, this is the heir apparent to the Belgian throne, Princess Elizabeth. She was born October 25th. Amy Beth McNulty was born November 7th. It says that she's known from Anne, and Anne with an E. She played Anne. And I've watched that, but this is the interesting thing. She's also in Stranger Things. And clips that I've seen, I don't recognize that actress from being in Stranger Things.
Who?
Amy Beth McNulty.
I don't know the name.
Okay, time to pull up another picture. Let me switch back to that tab. Okay, Amy Beth, by the way, is a name that I don't think I had heard, before this. What did I say the last name was?
I would assume it was two names.
And yeah, it's one name for her. There we go. It's this actress. I recognize her as Anne, but I have not seen enough of Stranger Things to know it.
Well, I don't want to spoil anything, but she's Robin's girlfriend.
Okay.
Eventually.
Nice.
I don't think that's too much of a spoiler.
Nah, it's fine.
You probably don't know who the fuck Robin is.
Nope.
But then you're gonna watch and be like, oh, that's right. Oh, she's gonna get a girlfriend.
Totally
fuck,
cool.
I just ruined the whole series.
No, you're fine. November 15th is Sadie Stanley, an actress known for Kim Possible, born in Columbia, South Carolina.
Christy Carlson Romano's from Columbia?
What?
What'd you say?
Sadie Stanley.
Who is that?
It's somebody known for Kim Possible.
Oh, I only know Christy Carlson Romano, and
I
know
don't know.
Raven was in it. I don't know any other female characters.
Unless
for some reason she was Shigo. That's the only other female character.
I don't know. What did I say? Sadie something? What was the last name? Because all I'm getting right now is Sadie Sink, and that's not who I was talking about.
That's Stranger Things.
Yes, I know it is. People have asked me to make her in games. Sadie Stanley. Okay, gonna type that in. Let's see. Sadie Stanley, Kim Possible. Who did she do voice work for? Okay, she was Kim Possible in the movie.
What movie?
That's what this Wikipedia page says. The Disney Channel movie. Film. Kim Possible 2019.
I didn't even know there was a Kim Possible.
I didn't know of that. I kind of forgot about it, but yeah. The newer live action one, I think.
Wow, yeah, I remember nothing about that.
I remember vaguely things about it. I don't think it popped off the way they wanted it to. But yeah, apparently, she was also in the Goldbergs.
The live action thing. Okay, yeah, we did watch that. Never mind.
We did?
We did.
2019?
Yeah, I remember that now.
I have no memory of watching that. But yeah, Columbia, South Carolina, apparently. And then Princess... Oh, I don't know how this stuff is pronounced. A Princess of Japan was born December 1st.
I feel like this episode's gone off the rails.
And it's totally fine. Here's the big one that I wanted to acknowledge.
I'm
born
not
in
drunk
2001.
This time. It's Alex this time.
I'm not drunk. December 18th, Billie Eilish. I think everybody sitting here knows Billie Eilish by now. Okay, great, guys. Thank you.
I mean, not personally.
No, but you knew of. You literally told me to turn off the song her and Charlie XCX did together the other day.
Yeah, because I was trying to play something
Yes, I know.
else.
You were trying to play Chicago. Okay, Google refresh. Sorry, I lost my celebrities born on April 19th one. Okay, let me find an actual list, please. Not the AI result. That's maybe the list I wanted, but it doesn't give me the information I want. So I'm going to go to this website, because this website was more helpful. Okay, I didn't need people from the 1500s, though. Why would you do this to me on this day? Yep, 1700s. Let me get through the 1700s first, you guys, and the 1800s. I feel like I did not need all of this. I mean, maybe there's some interesting stuff, but that would take more research than I can do on the microphone. I'm in the 1900s, guys.
What are we doing now? Where did we go?
I looked up celebrities actually born on April 19th. And on this day, dot something, I don't remember what the dot is, has given me stuff going all the way back to the 1500s. It's somebody named Johnny Hose. Continuing on, let's get to a year that I might actually recognize somebody. Apparently a British blues musician born April 19th, 1928 was also named Alexis. Good to know. Another Alex on this list too. Can we get to like the 2020s maybe? Jane Mansfield, do you recognize that name?
You weren't born in the 2020s. Why do you need to see? There's going to be like 4 years.
Okay, can we get to the 2000s? Maybe the 90s, 80s. Do you recognize the name Jane Mansfield?
Yes.
Okay, I didn't. She was born April 19th.
Okay.
I'm sorry that I don't know very many... What?
She was an actress.
Yes, I fuck you on thisday.com. I figured out your dot, because you refreshed my page!
Like a sex symbol actress.
Okay. Oh my gosh, what was it?
She was one of the waitresses in Jackrabbit Slims in Pulp Fiction was dressed up as Jane Mansfield.
Okay. I don't remember what list it was on earlier. It may have been that birthdays one. Not Born 2001. I don't know. Some list that I was on about 2001, there was some porn star on the list. And I think it was birthday related. Dudley Moore, born April 19th. I'm seeing a few names in the early 1900s that I recognize. Joseph Estrada, Filipino actor and 13th president of the Philippines, was born April 19th. Continuing, please continue. I need more names that I actually know, please. I'm not recognizing much from the 40s. Tim Curry. Tim Curry was April 19th, 1946.
Awesome.
Very awesome. I kind of share a birthday with that person. The only one that I have found that is an exact match is Pink Panthers. But you know what? That's kind of cool too. So, look, you suggested that I look up this list. I'm sorry that you don't have much to say about these people that I'm finding. Perhaps it wasn't that exciting of a list. I'm just now in the 60s. Well, now I'm actually in the 70s. Anyone in 79? Wait, James Franco was 78. Born April 19th. Here we go, 1979. Kate Hudson. We've acknowledged this before.
Probably during the Almost Famous episode.
Yeah, born April 19th, 1979.
The last episode before last week that I got drunk during.
Nice. Oh, Hayden Christensen was born April 19th, 1981.
Wow, you and Anna can share a birthday.
Yeah, it's awesome. You know, I saw a wedding dress earlier today that was so reminded me of Padme. What is the dress called? Like her lake dress or something, I think. It's like yellow but kind of purple and kind of flowy. So. I don't know. It reminded me of that. Okay, I'm in the 80s. I might actually recognize some of these. Emphasis on maybe some Russian tennis player. I won't say some. Her name is Maria Sharapova, I think. Something like that. Yeah, I don't know.
You got the name right.
Okay, awesome. Oh, this is cool. Simu Liu. In 1989, April 19th.
Shang-Chi?
Yep. I'm trying to think if he was in another movie I watched. He may have been in Crazy Rich Asians. I don't remember. Oh, another one that I watched recently. Joyride. I don't remember. He was in something that I watched recently. Yeah, the only one listed, 2001, is Pink Panthers. And then... Oh, it stopped for some reason. There were more, I thought. But yes, okay, there we go. And someone named Lauren Gray, a TikTok star, was born April 19th, 2002. Okay, here we go. Price of things, 2001. You tell me what you remember of this and your thoughts, opinions, etc. Okay, 1 dozen fresh eggs, 93 cents, would cost $1.37 in today's money.
Seems a little slight.
That seems cheap.
I think we pay more for that for eggs. I mean, we usually buy the big, because we have so many people in the house. We buy 30 eggs at a time, and that's like $5 or $6.
I feel like just a few years ago, you're probably paying like $10 for that.
If you're cutting that even by a third, I feel like you're not paying for the big thing.
Oh yeah, and like a few years ago.
But even for a dozen, I feel like it's more around the $2 mark. But I don't usually buy just a dozen eggs at a time, so I can't say for sure.
Putting this in 2001, they were 93 cents on average, of course. 1 pound of white bread was $1, or $1.47 in today's money. I don't know how that compares. I don't buy bread. I mean, you do, but I don't. Sliced bacon, 1 pound of sliced bacon, $3.25, or $4.78 in today's money. I feel like that sounds like it would be a little cheap for a pound of bacon. I don't know.
Wait, how much?
1 pound of bacon in today's money would be $4.78. In 2001, it was $3.25. But $4.78, really?
Well, I said that's not much different.
Oh,
By inflation, that's probably cheaper.
Maybe, probably. But I'm saying, like, how does that compare to today? Because it's saying it's $4.78 in today's dollars. But do we pay $4.78 for a pound of bacon?
I don't know. Do I buy it by the pound? If I'm buying raw bacon, I'm going to buy a pack that's got like 14 or 16 slices. It might be a pound.
It might be. I'm not sure. Guess that's a pound.
And that actually seems $4 or more probably.
Okay.
Not something we buy a lot, honestly.
Yeah. This is so interesting. Okay, 1 pound round steak, $3.50 in 2001, $5.14 in today's dollars.
What was that?
Round steak, 1 pound of it.
Not something I buy very often.
Yeah. I think of steak being expensive, but perhaps $5.14 for 1 pound of steak is expensive.
Well, I mean, that's rounds. That's not like a steak you think of. Like you go to a restaurant and eat a steak. That's like the stuff we'd make like country style steak out of. So I mean,
okay, maybe that is the cheaper stuff, but
Yeah.
I don't know. Potatoes. 1 pound of potatoes would have cost you 39 cents in 2001.
Wow.
57 cents in today's money. I feel like we're paying more than 57 cents for a pound of potatoes.
Well, I usually buy an 8-pound bag of potatoes when I buy potatoes, and I pay like $7 for that.
Okay.
So what's the equivalent? I wasn't paying.
Today's money would be 57 cents. So
per pound.
Yeah.
Sounds like I'm overpaying.
That was a little bit. It doesn't sound like too much.
But the place we live isn't even really a high. I mean, we have a relatively. It's not super low, but it's not the high end of cost of living either.
Kind of pretty mid/average, honestly. Yeah, because you said about $7 for 8 pounds, so you'd have to do that division. Probably paying a little bit more. And then fresh grocery milk, 1 gallon of it was $2.88 or $4.23 in today's money. I was gonna say that sounds expensive.
We just buy the store brand.
Yeah.
And it's only a couple of bucks for a gallon.
Yeah. So
maybe $3 on the high end.
Based on that price essentially has not changed. Despite inflation, the price is pretty much the same since 2001 at least. Which sounds really interesting, but I guess milk, I blame the cereal.
Don't ask me if I remember what I was paying for it back in 2001 because I'm sure I don't.
On one of my live streams
I remember
recently,
what I paid for a CD back in 2001. That's going to be about it.
On one of my live streams recently, one of my viewers said that, in a roleplay they were doing in the chat, they said they were going to the gas station for milk. And they said they were paying something, this or that. And I sat there like, why are we getting milk at the gas station? I feel like it's going to be overpriced there. And they're like, no, it's cheaper at the gas station. I'm like, okay, if you say so. I don't know. I don't buy milk anywhere. But especially not at gas stations. Okay, that is pretty much the prices. There's a little blurb talking about millions of Americans received a stimulus check over the summer of 2001, ranging from $300 to $600. The federal government hoped the money would be spent to stimulate an economy undergoing a mild recession brought on by the dot-com bubble burst. Brought on by the dot-com bubble burst, but the attacks of 9/11 further exacerbated the effects of the recession, closing the stock markets for several days.
I was going to point out the word is exacerbated, but I was hoping you were going to fuck up and say, like, masturbated or something funny.
No, I would not. I can read that well, at least. There were also accounting scandals with various firms, which prompted another stock market crash, and personal bankruptcy rates also reached record highs by 2001, partially due to the rising cost of college. What do you remember about all that? I have no
memory about a stimulus check.
I know,
the stimulus checks I remember were during the beginning of the COVID pandemic.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, whoa, there were stimulus checks before 2020?
Maybe. I don't think I got one.
I don't know. I know nothing about that. You probably had to be one of the people who had access to the internet and all that to really get your news right away.
Early internet days.
True. The internet was still slow. You had dial-up. Honestly, I was going to ask how slow dial-up was, but I bet compared to what I'm used to, I would give up on using the internet before it loaded.
It wasn't that bad.
You described it as pretty bad. In the 2000s.
It was bad once you tried something. It was bad once you tried something else and had to go back to that.
Exactly. So,
when you never had anything before that.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, compared to what I'm used to now, if I went from the phone on the 5G network, whatever stuff going on right now, to dial-up, I think I'd pick up a book instead. I will go to the library. Mm-hmm. I will buy a newspaper. Not gonna get my news as instantly, but... Okay, that's kind of all I had about 2001.
So is that the end of 2001?
Yeah, I guess so. I think we very much covered it. Very thoroughly.
So it's New Year's Eve 2001?
Yeah.
Countdown's on, the ball's dropping.
Yup, going into 2002. What you looking forward to? What you planning? Planning my first birthday, right?
Not at the beginning of the year.
I mean, it was on your calendar by then. Got 4 months to get it ready. No, now you've got, like a week, as of recording this, to get my 25th birthday ready. How do you feel about that, Dad? 25.
You're not even spending your 25th birthday with me.
I'm spending the night with you.
That sounded awkward. Please, no. Oh my, you know I have to go find this moment and edit this now.
Wait. No, you don't. Because one, it's not awkward for a kid to go home and spend the night at their parents' house.
Well, you live with me, so I mean...
But two, for clarification purposes, I am spending a majority of my birthday out of town with some friends. So I will be spending the night portion of my birthday celebrating with my father. I will also see you early morning before I head out.
So she's coming home and bringing us all COVID.
Hopefully not.
Bird flu.
Hopefully not that either. Hopefully nothing. Maybe some cool stuff to show you, but...
Yeah, nothing's cool anymore.
Yeah, this podcast is fairly cool. Anyway, how do you feel 25 years of being a father?
Fine.
Okay, cool. Does it age you in any way, in your opinion, or in your feelings?
No.
Okay, cool. One of my friends recently realized that I am half their age, and they felt old for a bit.
I'm sorry.
I'm sure it's okay. Anybody else have anything to say about 2001?
I don't know if I feel that old.
Anybody else have anything to say about 2001?
No.
You sure?
Yeah.
Wow, you came with information and you didn't even share it.
Yeah, I didn't much.
Well, all the viewers or the listeners will never know it now.
Go watch it when maybe you can't ever do it. You'll understand.
Isn't that the movie we went to go see?
Yes.
I didn't know the information until you told me it.
Part of it takes place in 2001. Well, the real life horse race is not the actual movie.
Yeah. So is the movie going to provide you this information?
Sure.
Okay.
Are we done then?
I think so.
Thanks for participating, Gabby. We didn't even mention we have a Comic-Con coming up.
We did not.
I mean, I'm so far beyond giving a shit at this point.
Just throw it in there.
Come out or don't. I'm not even saying it. You can mention it. I'm not plugging it this time.
That's fine.
I'm over it.
We'll bring it back
You
next
plug
week when we film up to it.
Coward.
Yeah. They suck at promos. I'm not a wrestling promoter. I couldn't think of one that is especially known for their promos.
I expect to see a thumbnail of the sloth getting domed by Barbie or whatever.
I thought we were doing Zabuma Flu in the OC.
Isn't he a sloth?
He's a lemur!
Oh. I thought Zabuma Flu was Zabuma Flu.
No.
He got the Zabuma Flu and died?
No.
That's what killed him?
I think old age killed him.
How old was he?
I don't remember. Let me look it up. I have to remember how to spell Zabuma Flu. Oh my gosh.
I think it's pretty much phonetic.
Yeah, it is, honestly. Real animal age, please. Not the show. I mean, the show is awesome, but... Okay, age at death. They were 20 and a half years. He passed away due to kidney failure at the Duke Lemur Center in North Carolina.
Damn.
He died in North Carolina. But he was 20 and a half years old, and his actual name wasn't even Zabuma Flu.
I mean, I'm not completely
It was like
surprised.
Jovian or something. Zabuma Flu was the show. But yeah, whoa. He died in 2014?
If you say so.
It was. Oh, apparently he was born at the Lemur Center in 1994. And he lived there his entire life. Fun facts about Zabuma Flu. I have a finger gun being held against me.
Alright then.
Mickey Mouse Club finger gun?
Oh, hey Goofy, I'm gonna pop a cap in your ass.
His birthday was April 10th.
Well, gosh, Mickey, I do a better Goofy voice than Mickey voice.
Cuphead be like...
He left behind numerous descendants, according to this.
Zabuma Flu was a player.
It just says, as of 2026, the lineage continues with many grandchildren and great-grandchildren at the same Lemur Center, such as Wadama, a great-grandson born in 2025, and Junius, a great-grandson born in 2026. Okay, anyway. We have said so fucking much about 2001. Enjoy editing this episode.
I'm not cutting out shit except when I got up to pee.
Not even all the times you just stop talking?
I've got my notes. Other than that, ain't nothing getting cut out.
Oh, fine.
Gabby, you should do the outro. Let's make it special.
Do my birthday outro. Wow.
I don't know how we do outros here.
Do it, Gabby, the game. What the serious fuck?
He just listens for when he needs to say his name.
We've done 400 episodes of this shit.
I don't memorize
you don't know
it.
what the goddamn outro is by now? How much drink do I have left to throw in your face?
Ooh,
I mean, seriously.
LexiCon clue, that's all I know.
That's something.
I was going to try to think of something 2000 century to say, but I got nothing.
What's some 2000 slang, Dad? Give us the Y2K aesthetic.
It's been too long.
For 25 years!
Yeah. Lots gone on in 25 years. Lots gone on in the last 6 years.
No, 25 years is an entire lifetime for me.
The last 6 years it felt like a lifetime.
Not lots has gone on in the last 3
feel like
hours.
a sea change. And happy birthday, Lexie.
Thank you.
Is this episode still going?
Have you stopped it?
Have you done an outro?
No, I told
guess
Gabby to do
I'm
the
doing
outro.
I end up filming this and we'll be recording this in 2 days.
Bye.
Maddie did the bye this time.